So, you're Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's what they say.
How did you get the name Bigfoot?
See, that's kind of a mystery to me. I mean, I'm like a size 10 or so. I've got nothing on Brie Larson.
Now, Mr. Foot.
Please, call me Ted.
Yeah. So, there are accounts of you, Bigfoot, Mr. Foot, Ted, attacking campsites and breaking into cabins and
Yeah,
RVs.
let me straighten this out. So my van doesn't have a bathroom, and people aren't as friendly as they used to be. And after a California burrito, you just got to go. You know what I'm talking about, man.
People wonder how many Bigfoots, big feet, your kind, there are. Are you in a relationship?
Well, no. But if there are any women out there, Lady Bigfoot types, you can find me on Instagram.
So, to conclude, you're a single guy who eats burritos, lives in a van, and looks for dates on Instagram.
Well, when you put it like that,
God damn it, I'm so done with this bullshit.
so that's Bigfoot 33, ladies. Hey, I was promised $25 in a burrito. Greetings and welcome to Solving the World's Problems. Tonight, the problem we are going to look at are the worst horror movies. And there's a lot of ways that this problem probably could be remedied. Good direction, better writing, maybe a budget. But we'll get to all of that. With me tonight is my co-host, Stephen Ransom. Stephen, how are you doing this night?
Very good, very good. What a nice little pile of panel members we got tonight.
We have Shieldwall of Dragons. Shieldwall, how are you, sir?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
One of the mega minds of the interwebs, Daniel. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Very well. Glad to be here. Thanks.
Awesome. And my favorite wizard, Blair to Blair, who is currently in hiding.
Very well. Glad to be here.
Blair, he's a fucking wizard. You just can't control him. He's gone already. There he is. He's back. Blair, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Good. This is a bit of a struggle trying to get this one done.
There are an awful lot of terrible movies out there. In the horror genre, you have a wide variety to choose from as far as the bad goes. And I think that's probably why you have a hard time honing in on your top ones, because there are so many out there. And I'm not gonna start this tonight. I've got mine picked up, but let's go around the horn. Let's see, Blair, would you like to start this thing off? Blair. Blair.
This is awesome.
Blair, and we've lost him. Just like that, the wizard has departed the stream. He's
gonna reconnect. Let's start off with Daniel then.
Maybe
Yes,
Blair is maybe he's in theme and he's trying to do a horrible night,
Yeah, you're probably right. Daniel.
So this was an assignment I both love and hate because it was so general. Horrible horror movies. You can go so many different ways with this. So I actually have a slew of different categories, but
Excellent.
my first one. So what I did was I picked something that I attribute to causing or being part of the downfall of the horror genre, which I love the horror genre. I think the highlight, the best years, decades are 70s and 80s. And so I look at what happened in the 90s and Blair Witch Project. I hate Blair Witch Project because
Shut your mouth.
I want to have division. I want to have argument and battle.
There's no division there. That's on near the top of my list as well. That movie was hot garbage.
Well, I look at this and
I feel attacked. Just wanted to know.
So,
All right,
the-
Nosferatu, I want you to get a count going of how many times we get angry between each other over these picks.
yes. So I look at this, and this is the father of the mockumentary or whatever fake found footage. And
Yeah.
it's I think this is lazy. It's essentially the beginning of the self-insert social media, even though social media wasn't really a thing at the time of this movie, but it's kind of
But
a
it did-
precursor.
Yeah.
And
They had a for
But
that
look
time
at
of
those
social media.
eyes.
you get what I'm saying, Blair. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
This was like the inception, the beginning of social media, which is what they were pretending to do. And it's just basically jump scares, which is what's the found footage formula is you lull the person kind of to sleep a little bit with kind of boring footage of everyday life, and then you have something pop up around a corner. But because it's found footage, you think it's basically just normal. And oh no, look at that, it's a witch or a ghost or something. And it's also kind of a self-insert kind of thing, because that's what you're doing, looking through the eyes of the camera, and it's kind of like you're there, so you're almost inserted into the movie. But also the thing about this particular movie, I didn't watch this at the time when it was in the theaters, but I remember what it was like back then, and I'm pretty sure this movie was driven entirely by word of mouth, rumor, and hype, because everyone was talking about the fact that they thought this was a real story. And that's what really was driving people into the theaters.
I remember the hype, and I went to see it with my friends, and everyone was like, oh, and it started out creepy enough. I had the little stick figure things everywhere. But then you get into the actual meat of the movie, and everything is driven by dumb decisions that no one would ever make.
Right.
So that's why I didn't like it.
Clearly, you haven't met my friends. I was a joke. I apologize. Sorry. Hey.
So that's my.
That is an excellent pick, and you're right, because it changed in a bad way a lot of horror filmmaking to lazy horror filmmaking.
Yeah.
And because there are studies, but actually this also gave birth to like the Ghost Hunter show. That thing with Zach Bagan with the funny hair and the baggy pants. I didn't prefer him. But this was that. This was its birthplace.
This was not just in the movies, like you said, in TV. We also got the ghost story thing, and it was an entire decade of found footage, and it's just lazy. And Nosferatu mentioned paranormal activity, which continues the garbage. I hate to even say it. I kind of like, but it's a very, very guilty pleasure that I like Paranormal Activity, because I know it's terrible too. But I just like that very last 5 minutes of the thing.
Oh, I agree. I prefer Paranormal Activity to the Blair Witch.
Yes,
by leaps and bounds. Yes, they were similar in the way they were produced and filmed and all the stuff, but I also think the story in oh my god, my brain stopped.
Paranormal Activity.
Thank you. I'm 111 years old. In case you've forgotten that, I like the story in that better.
I do too.
This was just wandering in the woods with weird rocks.
Yeah. Yes. Paranormal at least had an actual supernatural type of story, and they were trying to infuse something there.
Well, and also remember too that it was on the heels of all of the faults with Blair Witch, right? So they knew what they were doing the next time through, and it was a higher production value as well.
And it was a more clever use of excuse to have found footage being home security system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at least there was that. Anyways, I've got other picks, but I will save those for if we have more time. We can continue.
Excellent. That was a good one. That was a good one, and it's funny because it was a low budget, but it was a very popular movie.
That's why I zeroed in on it as my number one, because it was so successful. It was so highly successful, which I feel is undeserved when you re-examine it, and the damage I believe it did do, because and you just kind of look at the time period and what we had. Again, I don't know if it's controversial to say the 70s and 80s are the high points in horror. I think that's pretty much a given.
I think that's
a fair
these are all
assessment.
safe things to say.
There were some good ones that came out after that period, but my biggest thing with the Blair Witch Project is it started the whole reality TV show thing, where people figured out it's super cheap to do a reality TV show, and so now they're going to do 15 seasons of guys catching crabs on a boat.
Yep.
And
there had to be a better way to say that.
Yeah, just phrasing, I guess.
Phrasing.
But I mean, how many times can you watch somebody go out and, catch crabs from the bottom of the sea or whatever, without, and then before they have to start kind of making stuff up to make it exciting.
Yes, exciting things that happen amongst the crew.
Right, yeah. And then we're like, oh, it's like, really? If there were that many accidents and stuff, there wouldn't be, the government would have shut that down a long time ago.
Exactly.
Like ice road truckers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I get it's dangerous, but, I don't know.
Falling asleep behind the wheel for the 10th time this week.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, but those shows are so cheap and people will watch, which if that's what people like, that's what people like. It's just, I don't like it.
You never want to.
This week, Tommy runs out of Adderall.
You never want to give Hollywood an example of cheap and successful, because that's all you're going to get.
Yeah.
Well, and they're still, they're still doing it is the sad thing. The real wives of whatever the hell they are, they're all cousins of this. They're distant cousins, but they're cousins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Blair Witch.
Trash TV.
So, Blair, give us an assessment of why these gentlemen are so wrong about this movie.
Blair Witch was literally the scariest movie I'd ever seen, but it's only good for one viewing only. And the reason why it got to me was that it got in my head. There are no special effects. It's just people reacting to something off screen, but in my imagination, it got way worse than, probably what anybody else thought. And somehow that got to me. I mean, it really, got in my head. That scared the hell out of me. But like I say, you can only watch it once. After that magic is gone.
Not good for the review.
They really got lightning in a bottle. And I remember Sci-Fi Channel back then. It didn't suck back then. And it was so-called sci-fi, not sci-fi or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, that's true.
I hate it.
They had this great documentary about the Blair Witch that was set in like a 1970s style, back when they did all those paranormal shows in the 70s.
Right. Yeah. What is it? Ben Burke is the name, something like that. The guy who does those narrated, I think he did Civil War documentaries that were like a new style that nobody had expected before. And it was done like that. Yeah, that's it.
And that was part of the hype machine that you guys were talking about. Yeah, there wasn't social media back then. You just had the web 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
But it had its own webpage. It had people talking about it in message boards. It had that documentary, that fake documentary. So a lot of people really bought into the big hype about it. So, and then of course it was like the cheap, I think it only made it like a couple $100,000. But when Artisan bought it, I think they put $1 million into it just for sound because it sucked so bad. Yeah, these people were their own film crew. The actors were the film crew. And they filmed with not, movie cameras. They filmed with what they had at the time. Hey, Zax. And so they cleaned it up a little bit, but still the amount of money they made on this thing was unholy.
It was almost all profit. I mean, it was just like,
woo! Yeah, they had the guys who directed it were the writers. So it wasn't like you had to split the money up a whole bunch. I don't know if the cast got paid some more money. Hopefully they did, but
may I have another can of beans, please?
Yeah. But it was like special. It was like that one time it did it. And like you said, once they found out they could go that cheap and successful, everybody has been trying to do the lost found footage crap show. So
I moved to strike Blair to Blair his opinion, since the movie's named after him.
Oh,
wow.
Oh my God.
You can't have a movie that's named after you and then, say that you have an objective opinion about it.
Nice.
And just like that, it's been good to have you on the show, Blair.
Yeah.
Well,
right here, buddies. But it's funny, when I bought my ticket, I showed my ID or whatever, my credit card. The girl freaked out because my name was Blair. Some people actually thought this was a real thing, by the way. Some people actually thought this was a real, these people were real and they went missing. They actually had to bring them out on Sundance
when they were doing the.
Yeah, right. To show them, no, they're alive. Here they are. They're not missing, but yeah.
Yep.
That's why you're all wrong. So.
Well, while we're on the subject of how we're all wrong, why don't you take a handle at this, Blair? Oops. Go for it.
All right. I'm going to open up with Jaws 4.
Oh, buddy.
All right.
Nice.
Ooh.
That movie.
You're really dragging the bottom on this one.
That movie had no reason to exist. I challenge anybody.
But Michael Caine.
No, not even Michael Caine could say
Or
that.
Michael Caine.
He tried. But what he said was, what is it? He couldn't go to the Oscars because he was filming that.
Yes.
He says, yeah, but it bought me my house.
What did he win an Oscar for that year? Do you remember?
Cider House Rules or something like that? Or
because I personally don't recall. But
yeah, that's the one with Tobey Maguire and oh, good grief. What was her name? She wound up playing the Capitol agent from Hunger Games, didn't she? Wasn't she also in it? Cider House Rules?
I think so.
There's a question mark over the top of my head right now because I think you're talking about a lady movie.
I'm blanking out on the name too. Yeah, but he wasn't able to get his award because he's filming that. And then they asked him about it. And he's like, yeah, but you know what? The check paid for my house. Or my, he spun it. But yeah, my God, that movie was just, that's the one where the shark has it out for the whole family.
Yes, because sharks do that. They also have address books and cell phones.
Yeah. Of course, they killed the main character off, Chief Brody. You only see his feet. He's going to the boat. It's like it's almost like that, the action movie, the older detective only has 2 weeks left retirement and blah, blah, blah. They're going to die. Chief Brody was like literally, his last time to get on the boat. And then the shark just got it and he sank in the harbor and that was it. And then we had his wife.
That seems completely legit.
Yeah.
And they're trying, oh my God, this scene, they're trying to do the mirror from the first Jaws when the little kid was doing the mirror of what Chief Brody was doing, except no one cares in this movie.
Exactly. No, this is not. Yeah. The shark going to the Bahamas, of course.
Well, sharks like a vacation as well.
Well, he was actually on a mission for OSI in the Bahamas.
It's possible the shark was near the surface when someone was talking on the phone and overheard their vacation plans or where they lived.
That's right.
When you keep flipping the picture, I was like, when was Groot in this movie?
Sorry about that. I am
Groot is Jaws.
Oh God, that poor woman.
How does she look younger in this movie than in the original?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, because she had a makeup artist brought in.
Yes, I was going to say.
You know what Michael Caine's thinking in this shot? I can't believe I'm in this goddamn movie.
He's thinking, well, at least I got out of the Oscars.
Yeah, nowadays, that would
be a good one.
That'd be a good thing.
Is this enjoyable on a rewatch to mock?
I would see it. Maybe. I would see it in a Mystery Science Theater framework. Yeah. I would. Yeah, definitely better on a rewatch.
They'd really have to pile on the jokes though, because it really just sucks. There's a lot of bad dialogue and nothing happening, which is the cardinal sin of horror movies or any movie in general. if it's boring.
Yes.
Is that Mario Van Peebles?
Yes,
Yes,
it
it is.
Oh
Mario
my
Van Peebles.
God.
He used to be in everything.
Oh wow.
Amazing who
but
you discover in bad movies.
Oh yeah, so many actors got their start in crappy movies. You know.
Yep. And Michael Caine may have actually have solidified the future of his career by allowing Hollywood to portray him in this movie. I mean, because he decided to play ball, he became a player.
My goodness.
I'm not intentionally trying to disagree with Blair to Blair, but this movie did spawn one of my favorite video games of the time, which was the Jaws Nintendo game. Was based off of this one. Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a Jaws Nintendo.
Yes. I used to go over to my cousins and we would play this game and it was a blast and you would have to hunt Jaws. And it was a lot of fun and it's got the exact same cover art on the Nintendo cartridge as the movie. It's based off of directly the fourth movie.
You remember back then, every movie had to have a video game tie-in, and they were horrible movie games
most of the time. Yes.
Yeah, well, they had to put them out in like a month or something.
Yeah, that
Jaws Revenge. This time it's personal. Oh my God! Wow.
Yes.
The memes write themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Lord.
Well, while you're on the bandstand, Shieldwall, go for it. What's your first pick?
Okay, well, I was going to say Ghostbusters 2016 because that's a real horror movie, but the one that so I really don't like Scream at all.
Damn it, that was my backup pick.
Wow, like the original Scream movie?
The original in the 90s Scream movie with the one guy going, "Do it, man." And I was just like, really? These two idiots are the ones killing everybody?
Yeah.
Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 6? Scream...
anything.
Where's the original goddamn Scream? 1996, here it is.
The 1996. The first...
I didn't realize they'd made so many of these.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I did. If I add it to the Scream, but the screen.
The parody movie is way better.
Scary movie.
Yeah, yes. where the dad is like, they're screaming, playing around in the bedroom, and he comes in and he busts in, and the guy hides under the bed. And he's like, "Did you guys hear any screaming in here?" And they're like, "No," even though they were just a minute ago. And he's like, "Huh, it's a crack I just smoked." Then he closes the door. That's the best part of that whole movie was that guy, the father. Anyway, I did not like the original Scream. It wasn't scary. It was this part with her answering the phone. That first part. That part was good.
That's the only part.
Yeah, it degenerated into nonsense after that. And that's my I don't know, maybe it was because just me and my friends were like, we would have just beat that guy's butt. I don't know. You know what I mean? Okay. Rose McGowan, though, she was good. But yeah, I didn't like.
I hate that guy. I hate that guy. I hate that guy so much.
Yeah,
he's so annoying. What's his name? Lillard. Something.
Matthew
Lillard.
Yeah,
he's like one of my least favorite actors ever. I hated him in Shaggy. I hated him in 13 Ghosts, and I hated him in this. But I also hate most of this cast. To be fair, what's her name's brother from Friends? Who plays the sheriff? The one who plays the sheriff.
What
the hell is his name?
That guy was an idiot in this movie.
He's the actual killer.
Yeah.
Courtney Cox. David Arquette. I'm sorry, not from Friends. David Arquette, Patricia Arquette's brother.
And I'm not normally a contrarian either. It wasn't like I don't like it because everyone else did. I just didn't like it. I came out of the theater going, wow, that was a waste of money. So
I agree with you. I had an entire I was going to talk about this as well, and for similar reasons. And the thing that bugs me about this movie is it breaks the fourth wall in the sense that it references other horror movies constantly.
Dempsey talks about that.
Yes.
The trope movie about trope movie.
Yes.
Movie tropes. Yeah.
It's kind of like with Watchmen, the comic book by Alan Moore, where he kind of broke comics, so to speak. This movie kind of did that in a way, because it just started referencing horror as a genre in the movie, and they reference like every horror movie, and then they're behaving in the movie based on the rules that we as moviegoers always talk about when we watch movies, which is now it's like when you're showing your screen and you see like 10,000 images of the same thing. Like it's a loop of reality and it's broken, and you can't do that in a movie unless you're really careful about what you're doing.
Right.
And this movie is not. And
exactly.
It was just being a thing of the times, you know, and it was like, yeah, trope. Before trope was something that it was in the common vernacular. And it spawned all kinds of crap. It has a whole ton of movies afterward, and it spawned the Scary Movie parody series.
I Know What You Did Last Summer came right after that.
All of those movies, those are all just Scream. And the fact that Scary Movie is basically just Scream also kind of proves that Scream is not a good scary movie because it's so easily parodied. This, like you said, Shieldwall, the bad guy, Ghostface, it's just one of the stupid clown guys in a mask. Like it's not Jason, it's not Michael Myers. It's just a dude, and they want to kill because they want to kill, and that's it. It's a whodunit, and you're shocked by the reveal.
And then every movie thereafter, somebody was either some cousin, relative, jilted boyfriend of somebody else of this Blair's her character's mom. Apparently, this town horror triggered so many people that caused so many people to murder. Every time they reference it, they always reference it back to her mom somehow doing something. And it's just like, God.
With all the good horror movies or slasher movies where we have some deranged slasher, there's always a reason for why they're deranged. You know, it's some special person that, oh yeah, we heard stories about so-and-so, you know, she was raped as a young child and now her son has grown up to be a weirdo, and, you know, and then he turns out to be the killer. These movies are just people want to kill because they're related to another person that killed, and it's the fourth movie in the series, so someone has to be the killer. And wouldn't it be cool to be a killer? Like they've just normalized essentially being a slasher to the cool thing, the new cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Roman, let me ask you to put me down on the bottom, so I'm not covering up Blair every single time.
Okay.
No, you can cover me up. I don't care.
Can I do that? Well, let me do that. Hang on. I'm going to back out. Not the first time we've heard that.
Yeah, it's the only thing pulling out tonight.
Why is it not moving? Why is no one moving? Uh-oh. What the hell?
Or not.
Why are you not letting me rearrange the peoples? I don't know what's happening. Normally it's no problem, and it lets me just do this.
I'll just leave and come back in, and then you can put me at the bottom.
I just don't wait.
There we go. There we go.
That worked.
Excellent.
I don't know why that worked. You know what? I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question. Actually, now,
indeed.
Now, Daniel. Wait, who's on the bottom?
Well, if we go to full screen, you'll know. There we go. I'm on the bottom. There we go. Perfect. Excellent.
Sorry, everyone, for that brief technical difficulty. I am 1,000 years old. So,
Nice.
Here we go. So go on, please.
Oh, I was done ranting, but I'm happy to hear Shieldwall, you know, pick this.
Yeah, it was another Star Wars moment where I walked out of the first new sequel movie going, that movie sucked, and everyone else is like, this is great. And this was the same feeling I had with this movie. I walked out and was like, I didn't like it. And everyone else is the best thing since sliced cheese, and I didn't see it.
That was another complaint, is that this was so popular and successful. And again, like with Blair Witch, this also caused a change in the horror genre because it was popular and successful. And they had all these very popular actors. You know, I don't know why. Well, the hotness, I guess, of some of them, but that's about it.
Who is the not Johnny Depp?
Oh, who is that guy?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think what else he's been in.
I mean, yes, we can just pull it right up. I just don't know who it is off the top of my head. The not Johnny Depp.
I don't remember anything else.
I will check the cast listing. Give me a second.
Hi, I'm not Johnny Depp. Oh, these two. Oh, they were a couple. That's what it was. Courtney Cox and David Arquette were a couple at the time.
Talking about
they're
real
married.
life.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
married.
Were they married? Okay, yeah, a bit uneven in the relationship department, but whatever. Sometimes the little
His
guy
name
wins.
is Skeet Ulrich.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a stupid name. And as a person with an odd name myself, I can tell you Skeet's a stupid name. Sounds like something you found on the trail.
Or something you do while getting your shotguns ready.
That's okay. That's enough of that.
The tall, goofy guy on the left was the one that was stabbed by his friend, right?
Right. And yeah, he was like,
He's like,
do
"Lose
it,
it,
man.
man."
Yeah. It was-
I'm bleeding too much now.
the only thing that I halfway liked that actor in was the Hackers movie.
Yeah, see, I remember
Oh,
that.
that's a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It
It had Angelina Jolie back before she was all weird.
That's the only time I liked her.
Yeah.
I do not care for adult Angelina Jolie. She looks like an alien whose skull is about to pop out of her head.
She is peculiar looking.
Johnny Lee was that too. That was her husband
Yeah.
at one time.
Was she married to him for real?
Yeah, that was her first husband.
I can see it. They had chemistry in that movie. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's goodness gracious. What was it? Final Destination? That was the other big franchise that was spawned.
Oh yeah.
At least people died in interesting ways in that
Yes.
one. At least in the first
Well,
one.
that's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't qualify it in the same terrible, and it didn't do damage like these, but it does repeat itself in the sequels.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Right.
and that's not a new thing,
that's
though.
a
I mean,
sequel
that's as
problem.
old as the serial killer movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay. Well, Stephen, what do you?
Yes,
what do
sir.
you got? What's one of your choices?
While we're all still green and getting our legs stretched around here, I'm going to bring up Plan 9,
Oh, very
as
good.
the ultimate
classic.
bad horror
Classic.
movie.
Going back to the beginning.
That's
So
right.
Bad. It was unintentionally good. Yeah.
So bad, it spawned a docudrama.
Wow. Okay. Plan 9. Goodness gracious.
Bad acting, wobbly sets.
Well,
the
and
whole nine yards.
one of the stars died, so they lost. Remember, they
Yeah,
lost
Bella.
Bella Lugosi.
Yeah, they
That's
lost
right.
Bela Lugosi and had to have somebody step in for him. Hysterical.
It was like somebody's chiropractor or some shit.
That's right.
Bela Lugosi is back.
That's him right there. That's the chiropractor coming out of the crypt.
Yeah, you could
He's
tell
not
because
covered
he's
up.
always covering his face the whole time.
He's about 2 foot taller than Bella was too.
Oh, this fella. Oh my goodness gracious.
Tor Johnson.
Walk with more menace. More menace. Bring more menace to the screen.
I bumped into the bed. I'm turning in awkward angles.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I'm supposed to fall here on cue?
Did
Okay.
is this like the spawn of that kind of trope? I wonder.
I wouldn't doubt it.
This is where half the Scooby-Doo episodes came from.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Well,
great.
I mean, one can imagine.
Yeah. But that would
hands
be wonderful.
reaching out, classic
We don't know
horror
what-
tropes.
We don't know what to do for next week's episode. I'll turn on
Oh
Plan
my
9.
God.
Yeah, let's splice some actual World War II combat footage.
Oh, that was a big thing for him too. Was stock footage.
Oh, I saw this for the first time when I was in high school, and I remember like I think my friends thought it was good but bad, bad good, as they say. And I didn't really have the same reaction. I just thought it was, bad. And it's a classic, but it's terrible, which is just kind of a strange combination of things. Okay, here we go. I can bring up some of the pics while we talk about it.
Indeed. Oof. Yes, thank you, Matt. That's exactly what I was talking about. Tim Burton decided to show off how inspired he was and bring Johnny Depp on to finally go in drag on screen like he always wanted to, or as he did in the background behind the scenes. Who knows?
Oh Lord, what are you doing over here, computer?
Ed Wood was a masterpiece.
It was a masterpiece. And it's amazing how many people are involved in that as well. And it brought so much attention to this movie too. I mean, this movie predates, what's the other one that crazy guy did? That's like a classic bad movie at this point.
You really need to narrow that down.
Yeah, I was gonna say She-Hulk.
No. The guy who basically can't act. He directs the film. He's got greasy black hair. This is about 10 years ago. This movie came out. Anyway, yeah. Part of the classic bad movie tropes.
I'm curious if this is the first instance of zombies in film, but probably isn't.
No, it's
that would have been that was White Zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1932. That's how I feel, Bella. That's how I feel. And I mean this predates the Munsters, right? And Addams Family.
Yeah,
yes.
This is the 50s.
Oh yeah, 50s.
This is 1957, I think.
I don't know if it predates the Addams Family in their comic form.
No, that came out in the 30s or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But the TV shows, it did.
These sets are so cheap looking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they literally look like either they made them or they just went to somebody's house.
It looks like someone's house, and then the forest. Like this is what you would do modern day with zero budget and go into the woods and use someone's farmhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Not dissimilar to the Bigfoot skit at the beginning of the show.
I think the house where Bela Lugosi was walking around in, I think that was his house at the time.
Probably.
Nas is asking a question, and I don't know what this is in reference. Who is Neil Breen? Help.
Neil Breen is a modern movie maker. Red Letter Media loves to talk about him, and he has made a bunch of movies where he is always the main character, and he thinks of himself as essentially God's gift to mankind.
I think I've seen one of those episodes.
His movies are extremely bad, but incredibly interesting to watch because he is just a fascinating person. But yeah, so it's like you could do an entire discussion on Neil Breen.
Yeah, it's one of these filmmakers that I've never heard of.
Yeah. Jacob mentions that The Thing from Another World was the worst movie. I had some comic.
Wait. 1951, The Thing from Another World?
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, now we had this discussion a couple weeks ago. And while it is not a faithful adaptation of The Thing, I still think it's an entertaining movie to watch. But the running joke of the night was Frankenstein at the North Pole.
Yeah.
It is that. But it's nowhere near, I think, in the category of the films we're discussing this evening. And still to come.
It falls more into the kind of boring, like you said. That's a worse crime, but it doesn't put you on the worst list.
No, and they were trying to do something. There were elements of the film that were good. I mean, we were able to rip a lot of it apart, like when they put the thing in the storage room and then they break out the window so it stays cold. It's like, why didn't you just leave him outside? So many questions.
I must say, Vampire is pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, like the Elvira
Yes.
design, the Morticia Adam, or not Morticia, other gal.
Both of them
Lily?
actually
Morticia Adams.
take bits and pieces from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morticia and
Lily Munster?
yeah, Lily Munster. Yeah.
Lily, yes. Thank you.
Vampira's like the original goth girl.
But I do think that there was a woman doing this type of thing back in the day.
I'll be right back.
Well, Vampira had her own TV show.
I want to say that I've seen a movie that was probably in the 30s that had somebody that kind of fit this kind of archetype of this woman here. Maybe it was the 40s, but yeah.
Yeah, this is the witchy poo, the sexy witch thing going on right here. And I don't know what the date is on this film. When did this actually come out? Plan 9?
Let me find out.
Wasn't he saying 1957?
1959.
Okay.
It came out. And let's see now. Elvira.
She was a horror movie host.
Yeah, I grew up watching
LA.
her.
Yeah.
I'm curious. My dad was in love with Elvira. Well,
she was born in 1951, so there goes that idea.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think she really started doing anything at least until after 1975.
I'm curious where she got her look, though.
Cassandra Peterson?
I would say probably from this movie, if I was a betting man.
Vampira sued her.
Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah, Vampira sued Cassandra Peterson for stealing her look. She lost the case, but I mean, it's pretty clear where she got a lot of it from. But
well, here, let me pull her up. Had to be a better way to say that as well. Sorry, folks.
Let's see. Yeah, those are the fun days of public television, horny horror shows. Keyboard. We also had Svengoolie in Chicago, which was pretty funny.
He's still around. He's pretty big.
Oh yeah, like I think it's it's somebody else doing it now.
Indeed, she did.
Nosferatu. That's why my dad watched her. I didn't realize that as a kid, but now I do.
Oops, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
Bride
of Frankenstein.
Myself. What am I doing? You know, guys, if I wasn't so ancient, I might just click on the right thing immediately. But I'm not that clever, so you just have to bear with me.
How are you, Invader Zim? Pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Zim!
Huge tracts of land.
She's got huge tracts of land.
How do I function in fucking society? This is what I'm asking myself literally right now.
No. See, it's like there's a thing going on at my local Starbucks that just continuously drives me crazy. They've got a kind of like one of those line barricades, to go to the register. And for some reason, half of the population goes to the outside of it as opposed to the inside of it. And they still seem to not be able to find the register, even though the registers are visible from the door. It drives me insane. Like, how do you open a door? How do you drive a car? Why are you allowed to vote?
Yes. And they're probably all my age.
No, they're not. They are all of the same local group, though.
Why are you still alive? My God. Yeah.
I ask myself that question all the time. And, usually it comes down to, where is it?
Today is my 111th birthday. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve.
It's awkward for all of us. So this is Elvira, who looks very much, of course, like the vampire lady in Plan 9.
Vampira is her name.
That was actually her name.
Yeah, Vampira.
Yeah, all right. I will accept what my wizard friend is saying. I think Cassandra Peterson was actually a lot hotter as far as your vampire type lady.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a movie. There was an Elvira,
a vampire,
the Dark movie.
Yep,
She had a couple of
in
them.
the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she hosted a lot of TV shows and stuff, especially around Hollywood or Halloween.
Yeah.
That
She was a big Coors person too, spokeslady for a while.
Spokesperson, Blair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And thank you. Shieldwall is also now exiting the program. So, what's wrong with you guys?
Sorry, I've been watching too much She-Hulk.
No!
All right, what's your first pick, Roman, since you allowed us all to watch?
All right. So this is going to be, there's going to be disagreement on this, but it was either this or another movie, which I would have had more disagreement on, but I'm going to talk about that as well because I also hate that movie. Okay. Why the fuck is Harry fucking Potter on here? It's unimportant.
Roman.
I know.
It's those big feet of yours. That's the problem.
Hobbitses have big feet. So it is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Is this the Kenneth Branagh?
This is the Kenneth Branagh movie, and I hate it for so many reasons. I'm going to read you the quick tagline from it. The tagline on its own, because it was actually, the sad thing was, it was actually a lot more accurate to the book than any of the other films. A lot of the problem was Kenneth Branagh himself and Robert De Niro as the monster. So we start. In 1794, in the Arctic Circle, Captain Robert Walton is a man obsessed to reach the North Pole, pushing his crew to exhaustion. When his ship hits an iceberg, it is stranded in the ice. Out of the blue, Captain Walton and his men overhear a dreadful cry, and then they see a stranger coming to the ship. He introduces himself as Victor Frankenstein and tells the captain the story of his life. See, when you hear that, it sounds interesting. The unfortunate reality is when you watch the movie, it isn't. It becomes awkward and fucking weird. Oh, Helen Bonham Carter's in this too. God, I forgot.
Wow.
Is this fella? This fella is the biggest problem in the movie. Yeah. Robert De Niro is a twat, but he's a very gifted actor, and he is entirely miscast as the monster. And this was the biggest problem, really, with the film. There were a lot of just kind of other weird, awkward things about this movie, but De Niro is the worst, I think.
Can you even call him the monster in this thing? I mean, like you said, it's more true to the book, but it doesn't even feel like...
He speaks, he's a lot more...
right.
But he's also very evil and
yes.
So in Frankenstein, the 1931 production, the monster is a very sympathetic character because they basically they used that much of the book. In this, he is the evil thing that they claim him to be in the 1931 film. He hates Frankenstein. He kills his family out of a sense of revenge, and then he make him a wife. Helen Bonham Carter, and that scene is actually very disturbing. Not that scene, but the reanimation of Helen Bonham Carter is a very disturbing scene, and then her rejection of the monster. It just let me see, I'm gonna take this out for a second, see if I can find a good picture of that. It was creepy, but for not the right reasons.
I actually get where you're going, but I'm going to let you do this first.
It was just very unnerving, and it's it is good for movies to kind of put you off your balance. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find. Oh, here it is. Oh, and I audience, I'm going to ask yourselves to brace yourself for the image because it's unnerving. It's creepy, and it's Helen Bonham Carter as the bride, and it's horrible. And then I think ultimately she ends up setting herself aflame because she hates what she is.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's sad and it's disturbing. And I hate this movie an awful lot. This movie had a great budget. This movie had a lot of elements that should have made it a good movie. And maybe that's the biggest sin of all, is that it wasn't. Helen Bonham Carter before, not Helen Bonham Carter after. Here we are in the Arctic. I like Kenneth Branagh as an actor. He's basically the birthing of the monster. This scene was also very disturbing and creepy. And like I said, though, I hate the movie because it while it is an accurate or more accurate portrayal of the book, the elements that Kenneth Branagh put into this made it almost unwatchable. And you should never have a movie, even a bad movie, be unwatchable because it's so off-putting. Daniel, what did you want to say?
So I don't have the visceral reaction to this. I haven't seen this thing in decades, but I remember my mindset. And when I saw this, the whole Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, it seemed like this was going to be not a sequel, but very similar to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yes.
And everyone remembers how excellent Bram Stoker's Dracula was. And then, well, and then seeing this thing, it was such a slap in the face because I was expecting just this experience, like with Dracula, which, the Dracula movie, it just elevated Dracula to a new level. It's instead of being more of a classic movie monster to this very real evil supernatural vampire, ancient count that wasn't sympathetic, but you understood more about what made him tick, and he was very terrifying. This Frankenstein, I hated it. No, I can't say I hated it. It wasn't what I was expecting out of a Frankenstein movie, a modern Frankenstein movie. I remember the scene in the beginning. I remember doesn't he get chased by dogs in the ice? Yeah, and then it was more of drama. It felt like it was just more kind of psychological drama and atmospheric, and it just didn't. I don't know. He wasn't Frankenstein the monster to me.
Yeah, there's a vibe that was missing from it. I remember sequences where Kenneth Branagh is describing how he made the monster, and he's quite literally doing like full-blown stage theatrics where he's swinging around the laboratory, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
That's the problem with that movie, is it's pretentious. They're like, look at all the great actors we have, and we wrote a super good script.
That is an excellent point.
And yeah, we're going to be stage actors acting, and you're just like, I just want to see a monster movie.
That's what Daniel, when Bram Stoker's Dracula came out, Coppola did it and did such a great thing. This was a direct result from that. And, they're going to up the thing. Like you said, they're going to stage actor. Branagh is a great stage actor, and they went full, almost like, highbrow on this. And it missed the mark because people wanted a horror movie, not this.
That's the thing. Yeah. Bram Stoker's Dracula had really good actors as well.
I'm going to bring up an unpopular point at this time. And Daniel, you and I, you were going to get into a rumble, but it's okay. That's what these things are for, because they're fun. I hate Stoker's Dracula. I hate it. I hate it so much. The only part of that movie I actually like is Gary Oldman's portrayal of Dracula, both in life and in death. I hate every other actor in the movie. I know people love the old-timey effects because it is very creative. Yes, it is special. I hated those as well. I hated every part of that movie. I actually finished reading the book Dracula in the theater as the credits started rolling for the movie.
That's BS. I'm calling you on that right now. There's no way you are able to read a book in the theater.
I'm looking to my co-host off to the side here. No, before the movie finished, before the movie started, I'm sorry, I finished the book, closed the book, starts rolling, and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, fuck you, Keanu Reeves. I'm like, what's up with the weird little skinny pale girl? She's no good. And it's like, what did you do to Anthony Hopkins? Fuck! And it was just so disappointing on so many levels for me. And I know a lot of people love that movie. And you're right. That movie did birth this movie, which is its uglier, kid brother.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like Dracula. I don't like it. What happened? All the things. Never mind. Ignore me.
Dempsey's correct. Horror of Dracula is a better version of Dracula than
was that one of the Hammer films?
The first one.
Oh,
or
okay.
the first vampire one.
And I'm not a huge Dracula fan. I'm more of a werewolf fan. But I'm not saying that Bram Stoker's is the best one. It's just I think it's a better quality, and I don't think Keanu Reeves is any good. Obviously, he's the low point of that movie. But
it's
but
Dracula. Whoa.
Yeah,
right,
man.
I'm sorry,
He was
50,
trying.
bro.
He was trying so hard. They all were trying so hard to break out of their
My
teenage
washing
mold.
machine tries really hard. I don't want to see it in a movie.
Yeah, I was
And
expecting it.
as Jonathan Harker, it's Roman's washing machine.
I think you made a good point when you said Gary Oldman does an amazing Dracula, and
Yes.
Whereas in Frankenstein you get the opposite. So the lead has
two
to
big
carry.
actors in these parts. Like I said, De Niro's a twat, but he's a brilliant actor, and in this, just
You got to be cast in the right thing.
it just so didn't work.
It's a shame too, because De Niro was also trying to break out of his mold that he had been put into, where he was playing a mob boss all the time.
Sometimes the mold is there for a reason, and that's
I agree.
okay. It's
I agree.
okay.
Because remember, he did Rocky and Bullwinkle at roughly around the same time.
Oh my God, yes.
Winning.
Okay.
It's
Robert De Niro
like
as Boris.
It's like a heavy coke period for him or something. I don't know. I don't know what was going on, but
Was that
He
when
was
he was
desperate.
doing movies? Yeah, he had to support his wife's business, right? That's why he was yelled at her all the time. I do these crappy movies to keep your business going.
oof. So that's my view on Frankenstein, or Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Poor Mary Shelley.
right.
She's just twisting in the grave. What
All right.
is
Well,
that
before
strange man doing?
Roman
He's a
becomes the
monster.
undead by burying himself in all of this, what do you got as your second pick, Daniel?
So my second pick was going to be Scream, but Shieldwall picked Scream. So I have to go with my tertiary pick, which was going to be actually a movie I do like, which is Critters, 1986.
Critters.
Yeah,
That's a
and
good one.
it's not a terrible movie, but it is not a great movie, and but I love it.
Emmett Walsh is in this? I'll be damned. I did not know that. I'm sorry. Let me bring up the thing because I'm freaking old and I forget.
Oh yeah, Critters.
Yes.
Didn't this come out around the same time as like Puppet Master and
Troll.
Trolls
or Leprechaun
Yeah,
or whatever that little.
Leprechaun,
It
yeah.
kind of looks like the Leprechaun. Leprechaun.
I've got a scene you can play that is hilarious that sums up Critters. Play this at that timestamp. If you play it at 3:30, it's hilarious.
Where did you put it?
In
the private chat.
In the private chat.
Okay. Can I play things from the private chat?
Well, I mean, you should be able to pull up.
I think you may be overestimating my abilities, Daniel.
You should be able to copy and paste it, but
there's a big difference.
All right, hang on a sec. Let me. I'm going to put it over on the other computer. I know.
Right click, Roman.
Use
Right click.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
be a millionaire by now, but my life choices.
What have I done?
Paste.
Yeah, we don't have that production value of F&T or anything like that.
Well,
No, clearly not. Oops.
I will say
oh,
this
Lord.
about Critters.
And what was the timestamp, Daniel?
3:30.
3:30. Okay. Do I need sound or no sound?
Yeah, sounds because it's pretty funny.
Oh God! All right, 3:30. Oh Lord, it's like at the end of the clip, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty near the end. They're being chased by the alien critters, which at this scene is hilarious because the critters have been like sprinting after them in their ball form, and their family's running full speed. They get to the house, to the farmhouse, and now they're stuck because the door is locked. The kid goes around to the back of the house to climb in the house to let his parents and his sister in. Meanwhile, the critters are sitting on the stoop for like 5 minutes, just staring at the family slowly.
That's not the right button either. God damn it! So just bear with me. You know the problems here. All right, so
do your thing, Roman. I got everything
share screen, share system audio. I clicked the button this time.
All
so
right.
if it doesn't
Roman
happen,
melts.
I don't know what to do. Okay, I've got the thing. I'm hitting share. Not the 70s singer, but
All right.
Look at that. Look at that.
All right, so
almost like he's done this before.
And remember,
there may be sound. There may not be sound.
Well, there's subtitles, so it doesn't matter. The critters are aliens. Don't forget, these are aliens.
All right, so we're gonna play now. That was so
that's why critters.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the audio on that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's loud. Yeah.
You could. Yeah. Well, whatever. It was loud. Would you hear it this time?
You did it. You did it. Yeah, Critters is a blast. That was the first movie that I ever had a date.
Fuck? Shut up. Not you guys. I'm sorry. The computer kept going after that. You couldn't hear it. I could hear it. And
my like 12-year-old self had a date over at the house, and we watched it in the basement, and all I did was sit petrified next to her and never move throughout the whole movie.
Oh my God. Through that? Really?
Well, not I wasn't scared of the movie. I was scared of touching the girl. I was petrified on my first date.
Oh, there's a Little Mermaid song that I'm gonna have to rewrite for you, Daniel. Yeah. Touch the girl.
Already
Come on, man, touch the girl.
Oh, Lord. This got so weird so quick, guys.
Well, there are critters. We were just talking about critters.
Yes. And the dad that shouldn't be is right. This spawned an entire movie of ghouls and critters, and well, Gremlins obviously was the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Critters is just a ripoff, but they're puppets and everything's practical, and it's a simple movie. It's a very simple premise. Family stuck in a farmhouse and alien things aren't letting them leave, and the critters are smart. So it actually is kind of more intelligent of a monster instead of just being a stupid animal.
Oh, sorry, critters. I'm supposed to be showing pictures right now.
Oh no, it's fine.
I apologize to everyone. I'm having to. I'm coordinating another thing while I'm doing this, which is clearly working out for the production of the show. Please.
Well, thank goodness you brought me on as an admin, sir. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be able to get to the chats. Good grief.
Yes. I know.
It's great. No, we're doing fine. We're doing just fine. I wanted to mention though, Daniel, there is actually what the critters profile, the way they physically look on screen, is very similar to some of the more trollish versions of the alien invaders. I would imagine that some people had some major flashbacks, who people that were allegedly taken, that may have really been spooked out by this movie and didn't even understand why they were really creeped out.
That's interesting. They have a cool design. Because
they do.
In the dark, they almost look like a little porcupine or just some normal vermin, some kind of critter, as they're called. And but yeah, they've got those red eyes. They are voracious. They can roll. They roll up in a ball, and they can shoot their spines. And they do that. The poor father in this movie gets just bitten, shot with spines, beaten up left and right. He's trying to protect his family. And as you saw there at the end, it was the wife actually wielding the gun because they had to pull the dad into the house. He's so beaten up. But yeah, they're smart, and they take out the power. They take out the farm truck.
God, that looks like my son at that age.
Look at that kid's watch. That's one of those calculator watches.
Yes.
That was the shit, by the way. I had a Casio watch. Yep. It was very unpopular with the other people, but I thought it was cool.
And I would have been like around that kid's age. So this was a perfect movie at that time for a young adolescent or teenager to watch.
So
they were
obviously,
funny too,
Daniel,
and humor.
I've got to ask you, did you ever take this girl on another date?
Oh God, no. I totally failed. No.
Totally failed.
Yeah, he's sitting there, stone statue. You were too much of a toxic male for her. Probably.
Exactly. Ouch.
Damn.
That's painful. This is the alien, by the way, alien bounty hunter who can look like any human.
Why did you choose? He's from the poster.
He's from the poster. Yes, he literally.
That's right.
The aliens have no face. They just have nothing for a face, and they look at a poster and they transform into it. His partner looks at the poster of a model of a chick, and with like huge knockers, and transforms into this babe. So yeah,
I think that happened to all of us back in the 80s, right? We were there.
What, looking at posters and transforming?
Well, actually, this would have been one of the very original transition movies. So
what was that? What's his name?
That guy?
Yeah, that's what's his name?
Billy Zane.
Yeah, Billy Zane.
Oh my God.
You're fucking kidding.
No, that's totally him.
Oh my God.
And this is right after he did Back to the Future.
Again, it's wild who you find in these old movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Billy Zane.
So this is funny. I need to share this briefly. So Zach's is out there. I hit up Zach's. I'm like, hey, so if you want to pop on, he's like, I'd love to, but I'm doing cardio.
Nice.
Zach's. The strongest man on the internet.
Chud.
Oh Lord. I'm gonna share a brief story about Chud. So there was a kid in my high school whose name I will not reveal, and I feel bad for the kid now because of the way we treated him. But he was absolutely in love with the movie Chud. And for those of you who don't know what Chud is, it stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers. The fact that I know that just off the top of my mind is disturbing all on its own. But anyway, this kid loved Chud so much, he kept talking about it until what happens in high school, it became his nickname. So everybody's called this kid Chud. And I just felt terrible because like, hey, Chud, what do you, blah, 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 Chud. And it was maybe a little cruel. And you want to say he didn't bring it on himself, but he entirely brought it on himself. So kids, be careful what movies you like because you're going to end up with that shit as your name for 4 years.
Oh, it's all good. We had a guy at work that I gave him the nickname Chud. And then nobody knew what it was because they were too young.
Oh my God.
Blair to Blair, what's your second pick, sir?
Oh, I'm going to have to go into the database here. It's the 9th Hellraiser sequel, Hellraiser Revelations.
Oh my God.
That's the one where Douglas Bradley wouldn't do it. And they only did it to retain the rights.
There it is, 2011.
That's a terrible reason for a movie.
So what happened on the story is...
What the fuck? Sorry, everyone.
I'm
having a Roman moment. Okay.
Yeah, that abomination. So the story was the legal department came to Weinstein and said, hey, look, we're going to lose the Hellraiser rights because we haven't done a movie in so long. And they had literally 28 days or they're going to lose it. So in 28 days, they banged out a script, hired a cast and crew, filmed it, edited it, and put it into a theater somewhere in California where nobody saw it to make the legal requirements to have made the movie so they can still keep the rights.
Is this after the space one or before the space one?
Oh, this is long after the space one.
Okay.
That was a bad one too. But
Yeah, I think the space one was why they hadn't made one in a while.
no, they made a bunch of
fun.
them. No, they made a bunch of them. Like I said, this is like the 9th one. But what happened was after the 4th one, in order to keep the rights, what they did was they would have a horror movie and they would have shoved the Cenobites into it and make it a Hellraiser movie. They were never Hellraiser movies after Hellraiser 4, if you call it that. But all the other Hellraisers, 5, 6, 7, 8, were other stories where they shoved Pinhead in and a few Cenobites and they called it a Hellraiser movie. And the cast, a lot of it is like lost found footage stuff. So the cast actually drove around like Tijuana or something and filmed themselves to help out on production to keep the costs low and to get footage.
That would do it.
And then the rest of it is basically in that one room. And like I said, Douglas Bradley didn't want to do it, so they had a new Pinhead that looked like total shit.
That's funny. There's only 27 photos for this one in IMDb. There's not even like a lot to choose from.
And that's why it's like one of the worst horror movies ever, because they took a franchise and just ground it up to nothing. And it was a crap story. It was a crap everything. It was just a total crap fest. But yeah, I like the new Hulu Hellraiser movie. It was really good.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's worth a look, definitely. Not this. Skip this. Burn it. Forget it ever existed. But
it looks completely legit to me.
That looks like crap.
Oh
God, yeah.
He's cute.
That makes me think of the sad downturn of the once great Leprechaun series that went into Space and the Hood.
And the Leprechaun. Leprechaun
Sequels.
in the Hood. Actually a movie, folks. Actually a movie.
Somebody mentioned about sequels. The longer these things go on, the worse they get. There's bankrupt with ideas. What? It's just, it goes for the existence of going, and then they reboot it, and the reboot sometimes isn't all that good either. And
I was just wondering that it shouldn't be that. How far does Hellraiser actually go? Because I was only thinking like the 3rd movie. Because really, is anything after the 3rd or 4th one? Because he's saying the 4th, but
yeah, you
I actually don't even remember anything after the 2nd one.
The
1 and 2 are very ingrained in my brain, but anything after that, like the space one is funny just because it's the space one. But...
Right. But I'm kind of with you. It's like I only ever think about the 1st and 2nd movie.
Yeah, those are the only real 2 Hellraiser movies, because Clive he did the 1st one. I think he had a lot to do in the 2nd one. Good.
Hellworld. What the fuck is Hellworld, Steven?
It's a Hellraiser Hellworld. That was the name of the
You're making
sequel.
things up now.
It's it's like the 6th sequel.
2005, to be exact.
I'm not even aware that one exists, so I will just accept that.
I'm sure Henry feels the same way, so no worries.
Yeah, at least he's going to be Superman again, though. I'm thinking don't suck.
My man had a 40K shirt on while he did that video.
Everybody's very excited about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Shieldwall, what's your second worst?
Well, I have so many. I'll tell you a series of movies
I have so many
that I really don't like. Is the Chucky movies. They're so damn dumb.
Oh,
you're going to tell me this doll is going to kill people? Really? The only thing good about the Chucky movies is Jennifer Tilly.
I'm not a Chucky fan,
Bride of
but
Chucky,
I'm not.
Curse of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, Living with Chucky, Tiffany and Chucky,
Living with Chucky.
Is that Chucky and Friends?
Yeah. Really? Those all sound like sitcoms.
Well, they're TV series now. There's a TV series.
I can't even find the first. Oh, because it wasn't called Chucky. It was called Child's Play.
That's
right.
I'm sorry. I'm typing the wrong thing.
So, and that's the distinction. Okay. Child's Play Child's Play, the first one it was new. You're like, okay, but then you're just like, it's a little doll. I'll just kick it and throw it out a window or
this has got to
whatever.
be it here. At least
You
I
know?
think it is. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is it. Sorry, I typed in Chucky and I got like 47 things. I was like, what the fuck?
You could also run from a doll and then fall down and not be able to get back up and move so many times. It becomes unbelievable.
Brad Dourif did the voice, and he does a great voice. And now his daughter is in the movies now too. Brad Dourif's daughter.
It's a legacy thing. Who's that lady?
Yeah, she's in a lot of stuff. She's a good actress. I like her.
Fiona.
Is that Catherine Hicks?
I think it is.
Yes, Catherine Hicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
This well, the sequels are a whole spawn of success, which is like we spoke of earlier, which is a problem.
Success. It's a strange word there.
The Chucky doll was kind of a thing of its time because we had the what was it, Teddy
Ruxpin.
Yeah, my sister had a Teddy Ruxpin.
That creepy talking bear motherfucker.
Yeah,
it's funny. You put a heavy metal tape in, and Teddy is singing Ozzy. You know, it's hilarious.
So these dolls were a thing back in the 80s. It's pretty popular, and at least
well, we also had Cabbage Patch at the same time.
That too. Yeah,
I hated Cabbage Patch dolls, and here's why. The heads on those things were solid plastic. My sister used to hit me with them.
It's like,
and they hurt.
Oh, nice way to redirect your anger.
PTSD with the Cabbage Patch.
At least Chucky was a good concept in that they had a serial killer. I believe he was being executed for death penalty. And wasn't that how he ends up in the doll?
He gets shot.
It's like a voodoo ritual or something.
Yeah, he transfers himself into the doll when he gets shot.
I'm thinking of a different movie where a guy gets electrocuted.
Shocker.
Shocker.
Yes. I remember that one.
Yeah, you're right. It's a voodoo thing. Yes, because that's what he does later with his girlfriend to get her in a doll, right? The same ritual.
Right.
At least grant me the power, I beg you, or whatever the chant he uses.
Oh, blibbity blah blah blah. Yeah. Voodoo.
Nice.
But yeah, fucking Chucky.
And dolls are creepy. I can't stand dolls.
Actually, I'm gonna say this is probably unpopular, but I'm not sure. I like the Conjuring spin-offs, the Annabelle movies. I know they're crap. I accept that they're crap, but I still love them. Way more than like I love the Dracula film with the Keanu Reeves or this freaking Puppet film. I liked Annabelle was a creepy movie, and because of all the things that went on in that movie, I think they do a really good job with that universe in making it scary and keeping it scary. And that's like I said, that's probably just me. It's fine. But what do I know? What do I know about anything? Nothing. I'm ancient. Anyway, Chucky.
Yep. And I want to remind Thad, Matt, we're not talking about movies we love. We're talking about movies we dislike, horror movies we dislike.
No love here. No love.
And I don't. It's not that I think that the movie looks cheap or they did a good job emoting the emotions on the face of the doll. It's just the concept of that doll being any kind of threat. I don't know. And I was in my middle teens when that came out. So you're already, when you're that age, you're coming into your own, and everything you see, you're like, oh yeah, I'd beat that guy's ass. I'd kill that thing for sure. Oh, that guy came at me, no problem. You know what I mean? So you've already got that running around in your head, and then you see this little doll, and you're positive that you can just punt that thing out a window.
Well, like that scene right there where she's holding her hand to push him away. He doesn't weigh anything. Yes, he can control his body and all that, but you could literally just grab his arms, pin him to his sides, and you've got him.
There's going to be fanboys out there. He's got,
the human leg strength. Yeah.
They've actually said that. They came up with BS reasons why people can't just lift him. Yeah, it's because
a little burned hand.
Strength and
he's so cute.
He would have to be defying gravity for him to actually be heavy enough to be on top of somebody.
Yeah.
I guess when you're dealing with a supernatural doll, though, I mean, I don't know the physics that go into that, but supernatural is supernatural. So it defies physics just by its
to
nature.
be fair, that's why I'm okay with certain characters that, the whole trope, oh, it's a 110-pound girl throwing around a 300-pound man. Well, if they're a superhero that has some type of magical or mutant strength, I'm perfectly fine with that. But if it's just, I've had training, no amount of training is going to let you physically pick up a 300-pound man and throw
still
him
doesn't
around.
work.
Yeah.
But I still like the Karen Black trilogy of terror movies. I think we're all familiar with those from the 70s. With that little crazy doll with the knife. That was like a good voodoo thing. That thing was scary. But I think she still just ends up throwing it in the oven or something, doesn't she? Oh no, it gets out. It gets out.
I remember some getting cooked in the oven. Like it had like one of the old avocado outsides kitchen from the 70s.
And all of those appliances are still working, by the way. I'm talking to you, GE. So, but that little doll, that guy, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy from Princess Bride.
Yes. He's been in
Humperdinck.
Yeah. Yep.
Humperdinck.
Yeah.
Chris Sarandon.
Now that poor guy. He's only ever Humperdinck.
He still looks great, and he's like 80 now or something.
Yeah.
What are you saying? You saying I don't look good? I don't need this kind of abuse from you. I get that from Mrs. of the Empire.
He was in a great movie called Fright Night. Remember Fright Night?
He's great in Fright Night. The original Fright Night was awesome.
You know what? Funny thing about Fright Night, I actually like both versions of that film, which is a rarity.
I like some issues with you.
He always has issues with me. I know that. I like David Tennant in the movie. I like the dead Russian kid. I thought he was good in it. I thought it was an enjoyable film. Anyway.
David Tennant was the best part of that movie. So
he was really good in it. I still like the movie. I even like Colin Farrell, who doesn't have much of a career anymore, but that's okay. He's got fabulous eyebrows. No one got the eyebrow thing? You guys suck. Okay.
He's got the eyebrows. Is that a Japanese reference? Because they do that kind of reference in wait a second. No, that's a Guardians of the Galaxy reference, isn't it? He's got the best eyebrows in the business.
Whatever it is, I'll go with it. All right, fucking Chucky. We all hate Chucky. We all agree that we hate Chucky. All right.
All right. My second pick is The Happening.
Oh God, yes,
dude.
Does that even qualify as horror? That is.
I don't even know if it qualifies as a fucking movie.
Yeah.
It qualifies as a horror according to Google. You search worst horror movies ever, and it comes up as one of the movies suggested.
I don't think I've seen that. Sounds like a chick movie.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, well, there you go.
The inconsistency of M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
It might
qualify. There's a whole show on this.
Scary plants.
The trees have conspired to kill us all.
For chicks who are too scared to watch a scary movie, this might qualify as a chick movie because it's
Mark
not
Wahlberg,
scary.
Wondering what he's doing in this film.
Well, I wonder if a vegan would have a visceral reaction to this movie.
The plants strike back.
I'm sorry, grass moving. I there was no creepiness at all when the grass just started blowing around, and I'm sorry, unseen pollen. No, I'm sorry, guys.
Pollen.
Nice try.
Yeah.
Was that Cameron from Ferris Bueller?
Yep.
Probably.
Yeah. Cool.
We're all looking for a paycheck.
What's so sad is I love Zooey Deschanel.
Timothy, yeah.
Yes. She's got that wonderful band. She and him are.
I've seen her live a few times, and yeah.
What's the premise of this movie? Like, pollen is mind controlling people or something?
The
Plants
planet
have decided to kill people.
Yes, the planet is fighting back because people have overpopulated, and nature is essentially correcting things by killing people. So the plants are literally on purpose releasing a pollen that causes people to commit suicide, basically. Do they just fall over dead? Don't they just, or they kill themselves, right? They drop
kill
off.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like one guy ran in front of a lawnmower, so I had to cut over his head.
Right.
A cop would pick up a gun and shoot himself, and every time everybody would pick up the gun until the gun was empty. So like 13 people could kill themselves on a gun.
There is a scene where a zookeeper walks into a lion thing, and the lion rips his arms off and looks terrible.
Oh,
Terrible, like horror wise, or terrible production?
No, like production wise, it looks comically bad.
Yeah.
And Mark Wahlberg in this movie cannot act.
No, he's got that weird look on his face, like
Yeah.
Yeah, and for anybody in the audience who doesn't really know this film or hasn't really seen it, it's basically The Birds, but with plants.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay. I thought from what I was seeing in the poster, it's giving me like Invasion of the Body Snatcher vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's Nature Strikes Back,
right,
basically.
He's right. They're trying to literally watch like the wind and if the plants are like the tall grass is moving. It's the stupidest concept.
Oh my god. It's so bad. M. Night.
Yeah, he was just remaking old Hitchcock movies. I mean, he did War of the Worlds with Signs,
with Signs,
right? He did Birds with this one. And, you go through his movies and they're basically resurrections of old cinema ideas.
God, he must have been like desperate and just stealing other people's work because the pressure. Well, I don't want to give him an out.
No, this was a horrible movie on the face of it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is another one of those movies that I actually walked out of. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. There's no way I'm going to be late getting back to my car just because of this movie. No way.
Was this after the girl in the bathtub, whatever it was?
I believe it was.
That was like his.
Remember, he had a series of non-hits,
and that was like the first one, the girl in the bathtub, whatever. It was like so pretentious. He got up
Lady
his
in
own
the
ass
water.
so hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the first.
That didn't connect with most people.
I watched that because of you, Roman. I watched that thing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Daniel. How many times can I say it?
Still have the scars.
Was that the one where Samwise Gamgee only works out one arm and gets big? Yeah. Okay.
And then this one came after. I guess this was his attempt to go back to his earlier stuff, and it was over by then.
No, he just that was so terrible.
I think this is the movie that turned him into a clown.
Because the one that's out right now
that's a good one.
Is good. I like that movie. I think that is a very entertaining film.
I thought Avatar is the movie that turned him into a clown.
Well, Avatar. I don't know if
at least that's not a horror movie. That's not a horror movie.
Because I thought you were talking about Marky Mark turning into a comedy actor after this one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about M. Night Shyamalan.
No, I'm talking about M. Night Shyamalan.
Right. That's what I gathered. Yeah. But Mark did the Transformers movies right after this, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, he needed to do something. Has he done anything anymore? Is he done?
No, he's still doing plenty of stuff, I think.
Well, I mean, is he doing anything relevant? Maybe that was a better question.
Not anything I've heard of.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing, right? I mean, I have no idea what the fuck he's doing.
He was in that one buddy cop movie that was actually funny.
Oh, with Will Ferrell?
Yeah, that was that was a funny movie. Do a desk pop. That was popular where I worked for a while. Talk about desk pops.
So Roman, what do you have lined up for your second choice?
All right, and this wasn't meant to be. I'm not trying to attack you, Blair. This actually came up though. I had God damn me. I have two keyboards. One of them does nothing, and the other one actually does what I want it to do. And
okay.
Oh yes. Just say the jokes. They're all very funny.
Use the one that works.
Here we go. Well, one works for this computer. I have two computers going when I do this thing. It's probably more than I can actually handle, to be fair. And I'm okay with that. This one, once the ad goes off, is
Oh my God!
Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
You might as well just retitle the show "Shit on Blair" because I'm getting
to cash in on the
sensing a
real world
theme
hype of the
here.
events in the first film. A man from Burkittsville, Maryland, opens a Blair Witch Hunt tour, which shows patrons various locations from the original film. Blah blah blah. Things get funny. People die.
Good grief.
This was to Blair Witch what White Claw is to alcohol. You know there might be a connection, but you're not sure what it is. So why I picked this? I picked this one just because Blair Witch was actually successful, and despite what we've talked about as far as its usability as a film and its launching pad for so many other horrible fucking things, Blair Witch 2 didn't even have that going for it. It was an incredibly unsuccessful sequel. You had your weird little witchy girl.
It had no way it was going to match its predecessor.
And it just felt it wasn't a
Is that the Lady Doctor from Doctor Who?
No.
If only she'd been killed back then, everything would be okay now. Witchy girl, because we all know that girl, right?
Yeah, she's from The Craft.
She's in literally every movie of this era. Is that girl
wearing the same neck
stages.
collar thing? Yeah,
different actress, same character though.
Oh, that's the dude from Burn Notice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody has to start somewhere.
Yep.
The look. I'm not like the rest of you.
This thing actually did make money. It made like twice its budget.
Well, that's probably not hard.
But
if I go to a roulette table and I put down $20 on the red, I'm probably going to make twice my budget.
But it was just panned.
But to call it a success, I think that is maybe a bit of an overstatement.
It wasn't a success, no.
Cute redheaded girl who's actually wearing a pentagram. Look at me, I'm free. Yes. And she's smoking and carrying beer. She's the cool kid. Obviously, we need to be hanging out with her.
Look, she's got blue in her hair. Wow, she was ahead of her time.
Yeah.
RBF the whole time.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's decades ahead. She'd be smashing it on Twitter.
She's my swipe. Oh God, I fucked it up too bad. Swipe right girl for Bigfoot 33, ladies.
Yep, there you go.
We're camping in the spooky campsite, and it's just it goes poorly for them. It's just bad. It's bad for all the other reasons that the first one was bad. The first one was bad for a lot of reasons. This is bad for other reasons, which is actually really interesting in the sequel. Because they didn't go with like the first person shooter kind of thing, the shaky cam, this is all actually happening thing.
Right.
It was just, I don't know if that would have made it better. I don't think it probably would have, because you can't catch that lightning in a bottle twice, said every reality show that came after.
Camera position is a huge thing. And I've got a film coming up as my third choice that I will be raking it through the coals because of its camera alone. But anyway,
do you remember a lot of people
the camera doesn't sell it
in horror?
What's that?
During the original Blair Witch.
Yeah, the original Blair Witch. A lot of people got
shaky
sick watching it
because that was new back then. That was a new technique. Well, new handheld cameras were a new thing in the 90s, but they were on the big screen. You weren't used to seeing that. And again, this one didn't do that. This one just did basic scary movie, except with the Blair Witch cast. And anyway,
that's bold.
Yeah, I mean, look at this blocking. This is not real, natural, authentic, or anything. Just a blocking
but
alone.
awkward girl still standing slightly off to the side. I love her pale little face.
Yep, she's got the RBF going.
I get what you're saying, Stephen. In horror, especially, camera is so key because you need to get the person watching in the frame of mind.
Yeah, you need to build tension. The camera needs to be more static than you think it does.
Yeah.
Right. Look at
Because
those. Those are Betamax tapes.
Yeah.
the
Well,
fuck are you gonna
actually, there
play
was
that
mini
on?
VHS as well. So
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't have a player that can play those. I will conjure one for you.
God, she really does look like she got in a time machine from today and went back and made this movie.
well, actually, Winona Ryder in Beetlejuice is actually
Oh, she defined the look.
No, that's emo.
Well,
that's different.
That's true. She is what Frederica, whatever that girl's name is from the you someone said it just a minute ago. The witch
Craft.
The Craft.
yeah.
The girl with the big teeth. I always thought
Veruza
she was,
Balk.
Yeah.
Veruza.
Yeah.
I don't have the ability to say her name with my mouth. But I thought she was really cute, but she's like a less hot version of her,
This,
like a more normal version of her.
yeah, that she looks like a relationship coach you'd find on TikTok these days.
Exactly. So you
There you
nailed
go.
it.
So
You nailed it, Shieldwall.
tell me, when she berates you and throws knives at you, why do you have a problem with that? You're fun, sweetheart. Oh, God. Anyway, so Blair Witch 2, like I said, it's not even worth talking about very long. But I find it interesting as a sequel to a movie that was also horrible. So, anyway. That's my number 2, guys.
All right, back to you, Daniel, for your third.
Geez, I don't really have a third. Not that I dislike. I found an obscure, terrible movie.
That's fine. You don't have to necessarily hate the movie.
Okay.
You can just find there are so many bad horror movies out there. I actually have like a whole laundry list of others just in case for this.
This one, it's similar. Well, it references your intro today to the stream, which is Abominable, which was on the Sci-Fi Channel in 2006.
Oh God, Sci-Fi made some of the worst stuff.
Yes.
Oh God,
So,
yes.
Well,
Abominable.
Is this the 2019 Abominable?
No, 2006.
2006 Abominable.
2006.
I find it odd that there are two films
Yes.
named Abominable
Yes.
almost 20 years apart.
So this was a Sci-Fi Channel, and as we all remember, yep, that's the one. As we all remember, and look who's starring in this thing. The guy is a cripple, so he's in a wheelchair. Am I allowed to say cripple? Is that one of the words that we're not allowed to use?
You can literally say anything you want on the show.
Well, I don't give a crap. I'll say it. Matt McCoy.
Ableist.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like Rear Window meets the Abominable Snowman or Sasquatch. And this Sasquatch like rips people's arms off, and there's gore aplenty. And it's just so cheesy. It's that classic Sci-Fi Channel cheesiness that was so wonderful back in the day. You know, like you could just turn on Sci-Fi, especially at this time of year, and you knew you were going to get schlock.
What year was this?
2006.
So this is pre-Sharknado.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, this would have been the end of Sci-Fi. When did it really end? Sci-Fi Channel. Like, is it still alive now?
It's still around. It's called Siffy.
Yeah. But like in the days where it was actually watchable, you know, probably the end of the 2000s.
A little bit right around about this time is when it really went off the rails.
Yeah. So this was kind of a last hurrah. But yeah, it's just kind of schlock.
2009 it transformed to YY.
Okay. Yeah, so this was still the actual Sci-Fi Channel. It's schlock. It's dumb. It's got really bad effects. The costume is hilariously terrible, but it's still watchable in that it's not, because there's that what do they call them, the trauma films or whatever. There's like level of really bad where it doesn't even qualify as a movie. It's like they're intentionally making it bad.
Right.
You know, that kind of like, this isn't that.
Who is that guy? He is really familiar looking.
That's what I'm talking about. Him.
Scroll down. You'll see it. The cast list.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Look, that would be technology using the scroll wheel. Matt McCoy.
Matt McCoy.
Yeah, you'll recognize him. He's
And
He's
Lance
been in like a
Hendrick
lot
is
of stuff. He's
Hen-
like one of those
Hendrickson
guys
is in
who's been
this.
in a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah. The
And then he was
Sasquatch.
also in this.
This thing is, and again, he's crippled. So he's got a, like at the end, he was like a rock climber or something. So he's got all this
Oh my
rock
God.
climbing gear. So he's like trapped in his place. He's using his binoculars, watching this thing kill people. And then he's using his rock climbing gear to
And
basically.
now he's watching some Asian girl. That's probably not the right thing.
It's got a lot of tension in it. It's got a lot of tension.
Yeah. It sure seemed that way.
That's the wrong movie, guys. That is the wrong movie. That's the right movie. Look at that fella.
That's great.
Oh, that was not part of the movie?
No.
Oh, no.
I couldn't really tell. I didn't know how powerful his binoculars were.
Very good binoculars.
Right, they can see through walls. Those binoculars.
Oh my goodness. This is just like that is Bigfoot 33, girls. That's what you're signing up for.
Yeah. So it's, God, I don't know why this one just sticks out in my head. I enjoyed it at the time. It's terrible. But like I say, it's enjoyable, terrible versus something I wish never existed.
Right.
It's hard for me to pick a movie that I really, really can't stand because I block it out of my memory. And there's so much terrible stuff in the horror genre. There's like,
there are. It is real hard to narrow that down.
half the genre is terrible, especially both sequels, like you said.
It's really hard to Rob De Niro that down. So, yeah.
He should have played Sasquatch. It would have been perfect. Perfect casting. So, Mr. De Niro, we see that you've played a monster before. Yeah, what are you
You
going to do?
talking to me? Are you talking to me? Is that who you talking to?
You know, you wanted Frankenstein's monster to do that in that.
He was like, absolutely not.
Please. Oh my God. It's like, it's the love scene. It's the love scene.
There you go. That's what you're going to get out of this movie.
Lips. Look at that. They're so cute.
Oh my God.
This is the perfect movie if you want to have someone over and you're going to just make the fun, make fun of this thing.
So you're saying you should have watched this movie for your 12-year-old date?
This probably would have been better. Yeah.
Sadly, it wasn't yet created.
Might have driven her into my arms.
Wow.
You're like, oh, honey, this is so awful.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a hilarious fucking shot. I don't know what happened. Probably nothing good, but
no,
it doesn't matter because that's a hilarious shot. Just as a still, it's great.
Yeah, because you get, I'm sure he gets lifted up so you could do a whole smoochy sound on top of that clip.
Exactly.
Look at that look. Look at the look of that man. That's a bewildered man wondering why the fuck he's there. That's what that is.
Yeah.
He was in LA Confidential. That's who he was. He played that the Dragnet character, the cop that Kevin Spacey was buddy with on the fake TV show Badge of Honor.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
That is such.
I love that
such
movie.
a good
Oh
movie.
my
Yeah,
God.
that is a great movie, great mystery.
My favorite scene in that movie, and I know we're taking ourselves out of the horror, the bad horror thing for a second, was when Russell Crowe was watching the interview of the guy who had, if he'd raped and killed, I don't remember exactly what he'd done, but he snaps the back off the chair. I just thought that scene was just fucking so well done. But, whatever. It's no schlock. And this poor guy. Wait, was that the Asian girl from before? No. Different girl. Oops, now I got stuff on my screen. God damn it.
No, that's a Native American girl. Very similar looking, Roman, but they're different.
Yeah, I wish those styles.
Now I'm racist. That's it. We're done for the night, folks, because Roman is racist. Okay. Nice.
All right, Blair.
It's Family Truckster. It's vacation. Holiday Road.
Is Chevy Chase in that car?
I see Bigfoot in the hills there, son.
That's Chevy Chase's station wagon, isn't it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it looks like it. Yeah.
Oh goodness. What the fuck? What does that look? He's taking a shit. He's looking at the Asian girl. I don't know what's going on anymore.
He's doing a photograph for his thumbnail for his YouTube
That is
video.
fucking
Perfect
maniacal.
thumbnail.
Oh my god! If I'd known this picture existed, I would have used that instead of Zombievers. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh. He's like, buddy, I don't know what you're on, but you need to be taking something else. Oh, that's okay. Wait a minute, is that what's his fuck?
Yeah,
Bishop from Aliens?
Yep.
Oh no, they
Steven-
sucked poor
Steven
Bishop
said-
into this.
Yep.
He's
he was
in
in it.
everything.
He's in a lot of movies. He was in a lot of really bad movies, low budget things, a lot of series too. He was in. There was actually a series that I enjoyed for a while called Millennium. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Kind of an X-Files tie-in series. That was a creepy show. But they got away from their like original premise, and then it went kind of sideways, like a lot of shows did in the 90s. Man, I can't believe they got him in there too.
Oh, he was in Pumpkinhead.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I like Pumpkinhead.
As a matter of fact,
Like
I'm gonna
like as a
click on it.
meal or
Wait, wasn't that guy the sheriff guy? Wasn't he in Breakfast Club as the teacher in charge of
oh that guy.
Or the
Yeah.
Yeah.
principal?
Yeah.
or-
Grab the horn by the. Don't grab the horn by
Fuck
the.
with the bull, you get the
Yeah.
horns.
Yeah. Don't grab the bull by the horns.
He's
Wow,
wearing that
he-
bad polyester.
He dropped down pretty far, didn't he?
Yeah, well,
I'm in a
Pretty
hip
man
teenage
with no
drama.
grab a suit. Yeah.
Now I'm in a movie with a Bigfoot. It's some guy who looks like he may need to have some kind of anti-constipation medicine.
Well, it kind of had that look on his face, like, man, I'm in a Bigfoot movie.
I fucked with the bull. I got the horns. These are the horns. They're metaphorical. Who is this weirdo?
he's like, damn, those kids really did screw up my career.
Oh, that's God. He's the guy who played Star Trek. He played the Vorta, and he played the Andorian guys. Oh, fuck, I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, he was.
We're going heavy nerd right now, folks.
He was the
Yeah.
Vorta. I know all the characters.
Jeffrey Combs.
Yes, that's it.
Is that really Jeffrey Combs?
Looks like it.
He's got a
Got
lot
weird
of-
glasses on, but I think that's him.
Oh, you
If
could
he's
be-
the
you could
clerk,
be
then
right.
yes, Jeffrey Combs was in this
Holy
film, and he
cow.
Is he the guy who tries to warn the kids not to go to the town or the camp?
He's another actor that's in like 10,000 things.
Yes, he's in a
He's
lot of
a-
stuff.
He's a busy man. Yes.
yeah,
He's
Deep
great,
Space
though.
Nine, Enterprise, Voyager, Babylon
Wow, he-
5, Gotham. Yeah,
He
This is
played
the dude,
in
though.
a Doctor Strange type movie for Blue Moon Entertainment. He's the
Wait a
was it
minute.
called
Are we getting
Dr.
into like a weird area here, Blair?
No, it was like was a Dr. Morbius or
That was
Dr.
a
Morbid
joke.
or
Ooh.
but yeah,
Wasn't
it was
he in
basically Doctor
Reanimator?
Strange.
I just
Yes,
got a text
he
from my
was.
son asking me if I want Taco Bell. Yes, son, I would like to shit myself at 2 a.m.
Wait, isn't he in Reanimator?
Yes, that was him.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I'm sorry, audience. Yes, it took Roman about 8 minutes to actually catch up with the rest of the crew.
Well,
on
the
that.
key is we had
Who
to
is
go
this actor?
farther and farther back
Yeah,
in time
So you hit
before you
my era.
recognized.
You finally hit my era. Reanimator. I know who that is.
Matt says it's Dr. Mordred. Yeah, that's what he did. He played Dr. Mordred in the 90s for Blue Moon Entertainment. It's basically Doctor Strange,
6 tacos,
but it's a good.
1 bean burrito.
all right, Blair to Blair. We've waited long enough. Your third pick, sir.
Before I go to my third pick, I like to do an honorable mention. Mel
Okay.
Brooks's Dead and Loving It.
Ooh.
That movie sucked. Well, it didn't suck.
Let me
it
pull that
blew.
one up. You know
Blew
what?
so hard.
What happened to Daniel?
There
Daniel,
he
He's back.
I accidentally knocked myself out.
that happens to me more often than you would possibly imagine. Do I need to do a reshuffling again?
But
No, I
no,
think
we're
we're
good.
still good. We're still
We're
Blair
good.
to Blair,
Yeah.
Dead and Loving It is trash. That's a
Thank you,
very
sir.
good
Hang on.
mention.
That
That's-
was
Yeah,
the
okay.
only movie I ever rented where I stopped it. Like, this is fucking stupid.
you know, the crime of that is Leslie Nielsen is hilarious in most of those types of spoof movies, and that movie is not funny. And that's
No,
the
not at
crime
all.
of being not funny is you know, Yeah, it's unforgivable.
So
And
you're
this came
saying it's no
after-
airplane?
Oh no.
No. Oh my God, no.
And he did Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
I didn't
and
like
that
that
was
either.
great. I like.
I
that
don't
one.
like Spaceballs either, though. I think Spaceballs was the beginning of the end for Mel
Yeah,
Brooks.
I'm not a
That was
huge
good.
Spaceball. It's okay, but it's
A
not
lot of people,
this.
a lot of people like it. I am not. I'm just not a fan. Like I said, and
Yeah.
for me, that was the beginning of the end. And I love Mel Brooks. Young Frankenstein is like one of my top 5 ever movies. That includes like The Thing and Star Wars and all the other movies that I love. Young Frankenstein is like right here. That's the movie that my family quotes on a daily basis in my house. Still, you know, when you ask where's my son? He's in the bathroom. Get out of there! Give someone else a chance. You know, it's just one of those movies that has so many moments. My wife and I do Taffeta Darling instead of actually touching each other because she hates me, and I understand that. I don't blame her. But yeah, the Mel Brooks slide into, was this his last one?
I want to say it was. I don't
And there's
remember anything
probably a
after.
reason for that.
It was near the end.
Oh,
Yeah, and
well,
he
History of the
was
World.
capitalizing on Love at First Bite.
I thought this was during the vampire craze era, when you had Interview with a Vampire,
Yeah,
everything's
95.
a vampire, all
was
the
a lot of
shows,
vampire stuff.
you were getting bombarded with vampires left to right.
It's just the jokes are horrible. They're dad jokes, and
Yeah, exactly. This isn't the 70s Mel Brooks from
Right.
Blazing Saddles and History of the World Part 1. This is like old
And the
man.
thing is, I mean, it doesn't last forever, and that's just one of those things. Some directors can, and actors, carry it on for a very long time. You know, even some of them right up to the end when it's, you know, when they're done. Christopher Lee, I think, being a good example of that. Christopher Lee made great movies, and I'm going to include the Star Wars prequels in that, even though I don't personally think they're great. A lot of people really enjoy those movies, and it was a really good role for him, even, you know, given the time period, especially. He made the Lord of the Rings films. He even made those fucking Hobbit movies, which I despise, but he was still doing big time acting at the end of his career and still doing a good job with it. Even if the movie was terrible, The Hobbit was fucking terrible, but Christopher Lee was still good in The Hobbit. Christopher Lee was good in Star Wars. So you have to look at the part, not necessarily the entire thing. But there is nothing good about Leslie Nielsen, you know, as a bat, or Mel Brooks as a, you know.
I don't know whether to blame Nielsen or if it's Brooks, but it's got no sharp edges, right? It's like this is
right.
Like you said, Blazing Saddles is, you know, pushes every boundary.
I love Blazing Saddles so much.
This is the opposite of Blazing Saddles. It's safe.
Yes, exactly.
Geriatric humor. It's kind of like Spielberg making Crystal Skull. You know, it's
Oh God,
terrible.
Which we haven't. That would be on this list if it were a horror movie, Steven Spielberg, not my Steven, your Steven. Our Steven.
Right. This is my honorable mention. But it just sucks so bad.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
My third pick is 1988 Prime Evil. It was one of those video movies you picked up in the day.
1988 Prime Evil. I don't recognize either of the names I'm seeing off the bat, so that's something.
It is boring. That's it. Boring.
Wait, there's no video clip. There's oh dear Lord, what I do? I did something bad. Sorry.
No, there's no video clip because it's not worth a video clip.
Can't even have a video clip.
Sorry, Blair, you were breaking up, and all I heard was boring. Are you talking about the new She-Hulk show?
Oh, that's boring too. But this has a cardinal sin of being a boring movie. Nothing happens. There's no pacing.
I actually can't even pull up photographs for this player. There
isn't even a cast set up here.
There's
none of the people have photos.
Who directed it?
I don't know.
Director was Satan. Oddly, no, it was Roberta Findlay.
Roberta, I see.
Nice job, lady friend.
Just hortation. Nothing happens. The kills are not worth even mentioning. I don't even remember a single one. That's how bad it was. but it's just boring. Nothing happens. It's like a horror movie, but it's like some people got some video equipment and made a movie. You know, God,
I'm sorry.
horrible.
I'm sorry. I can't even do photos with this one because they did.
Oh, don't be. It's...
What did you do? No, I don't want to buy it. Get fuck off.
That would be so
God,
funny
damn
if you accidentally bought it.
Oh God,
honey,
I-
what's
that
this?
was-
What's this movie about?
that we own
Oh,
now forever.
Prime Evil. Is that about Amazon? Yes, sweetheart. That's what it's about.
But
That was
I
great.
always remembered how, and I was like 17, 18. I was like right in the zone of that kind of stuff. And, we talked about how hard it is to kind of pick bad movies, trying to pick 3 turds out of an ocean of diarrhea that we all had to swim through in our lives with direct-to-video movies and sci-fi crap and streaming crap. It's really bad when it sticks out in your mind however many years, decades later that, this movie sucked.
All I can do is pull up the 1-star reviews for this movie, and apparently there are a lot of them.
Wait, what? So it has a 1 star.
I love this. Is
but
my
then
favorite one. Dull. That's it. That's the entire review.
If you go
Dull.
back up, there's one that
Warning,
says
spoilers.
1 star, 4 out of 10, or 8 out of 10. What does that even mean?
It's not just 1 star. Oh, okay, I get it. Where they gave it a 4, but they only gave it a one word review. Dull. Good for them. You go, guy. Really bad? Sex, Satanism in the city. Okay.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good. And does that say I would watch it again?
So
I guess
it's
they like punishment.
I guess Gavin 6942. I'm going to say it right now. You might be retarded. Okay.
so the summary on this is a New Yorker's deal with the devil includes sacrificing his daughter to a fallen priest's 14th century sect.
Oh, you
Okay.
found the tagline. I can't even find. A coven of devil worshippers. Blah blah blah.
Well, you got IMDb. I'm doing Google, so at least we're doing two
Okay,
approaches.
okay. Oh God, but neither one is really producing a whole lot. That tells you a lot about a movie that you can't.
Yeah,
fucking
there's
find
nothing.
anything.
I don't think
It's
there's even any
that
trailers.
bad. You can't fucking find anything about it.
There's
I
a
did an
there's a
impression of your
trailer
voice
on
just a minute
YouTube,
ago.
but
I'm sorry about that.
yeah.
Mrs.
But
of the
I-
Empire is in the studio right now, so I told her that I did an impression of her when we were talking about Prime Evil. What Prime Evil? Was that something about Amazon? Now I'm getting a look from right there, and she's getting a knife, and that's so, folks. It's been fun having you on tonight.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Take
She's
care,
not going to
Roman.
kill me
Why does your impression of your wife sound like Marge Simpson?
because that's how I hear her. She says she doesn't sound like that. The problem is I can't actually say that for certain because that's how I hear her. No, don't throw that, honey. That's not funny. that's not even mildly comical. She's threatening to throw a bottle at me now. So that's fun.
All right, Shield Wall, let's have it. What's your third pick?
We've
All right. The Hills Have Eyes, 2007.
Oh, fuck, The Hills Have Eyes.
Hills Have Eyes 2.
Ugh.
Oh,
first
God,
one-
it's not even the original Hills Have Eyes. Oh,
No.
my God. All
The
right.
Hills Have Eyes 2, 2007, where it's a bunch of Army National Guard people doing incredibly dumb things to like throw away all their gear.
Did you know they remade this movie in 2006? The
Yes,
original Hills
yes.
Have Eyes?
And that one is bad, but not as bad as this one.
Right, you are talking about the 1984, The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay, so
No, you're talking about part 2.
part 2,
So
which is
oddly enough, they remade The Hills Have Eyes 2 in 2007. There are 2 versions of this. So you have The Hills Have Eyes 2006, The Hills Have Eyes 2 2007, which are the remakes of 77, which was The Hills Have Eyes. And The Hills Have Eyes 2 took a long time to make a sequel. I guess they were really thinking it out in 1984.
Right. But those aren't the ones which ones are you talking about? Give us a date.
You're talking
The
about the originals,
2000
right?
no, I'm talking about the 2007.
Oh,
Hills Have Eyes 2.
I'm sorry. I thought you were
Okay.
old
Yeah.
school. You're not going OG on
No,
me. You're
no.
going
No.
new
This
school.
This is a
God
reboot
damn it,
sequel.
now I gotta
right.
pull up.
It was again, the entire premise is that, trained military people have to act like complete morons in order for the plot to move forward. And that's what most of my problems with most movies these days, or any kind of horror in general, is that people have to make dumb decisions over and over and over again in order to move the plot forward, instead of having, like, smart villains.
It's literally walk into your death. Okay, that's your motivation.
The problem I have with the movie is that look at all the gear they have on, right? Well, as they progress through the movie, they shed their gear. I lose my helmet. I take off my bulletproof vest. I drop my water in my Camelback. And next thing you know, they're literally in t-shirts.
They
walking around.
They have to basically transform from a military unit into just regular people who are being hunted.
You know what's strange about that heat vision image of the troopers inside the carrier? That couldn't exist, because that garb is actually heat resistant. It doesn't show your body temperature. That's one of the technologies built into military garb, official military garb. That's what I was told.
Not the shit that I got issued. That shit wasn't regulating anything.
Well, I mean, this movie,
probably Spec Ops guys, not our guys. Why is that?
Yeah. See, look, exactly. So now she's in like a tank top, with it taking her top off. It's like, why?
Which, first of all, is also not standard issue. Just in case people are wondering about that.
Yeah, neither is lipstick.
These are your normal.
These are just like regular
yes.
troops. What in the fuck?
This is normal people who would regularly be killed in a movie like this, a slasher movie, and you'd have your like cabin in the woods, right? Made a joke of this.
Yes.
You'd have your group of people that you need to just kill one off by another.
All their haircuts are unragged, or out of rags, just in case anybody's curious about that too.
They dressed up all these people in military garb in the beginning and called them soldiers, and they're not. And then they have to remove all of that because they have to go back to being what they are, which is prey for the slashers. It's completely retarded. You would.
How does Wes Craven have anything to fucking do with this?
Yeah,
didn't he do?
I require an answer on that one.
Bank account?
Is this the same thing? Are we still watching a preview from this?
I'm not sure.
Or is this like Asian Girl in a shower again?
It's they are reserves or National Guard, and they have limited ammo because it's
not watching
a training mission.
Okay.
But still. Why you even? I can't remember the premise of why they had to go in there or whatever, and it just, I don't know. It was silly and stupid.
No, sadly, they do not have restrictive underwear, Zach. No.
Yeah.
Literally, no. This is a giant no.
Now, if that movie was made today, maybe. But, I don't know. Not back then, for sure.
Is that the same guy, or is that a different actor?
They're different. I like the premise that they're people that lived in the area in the 40s. They did nuclear. They lit off all the nukes out there for the Manhattan Project, and they get irradiated and mutate. And the government supposedly was going to move them out of there, and they did all these tests, but they were minors, so they just went underground, and they're all inbred and stuff now. And the plot point of this is that they're trying to capture the females
because they need breeding stuff.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
That's a handsome devil.
Yeah, yep. He's all irradiated, mutated, and inbred.
Wow.
Right.
Got me.
So obviously they'll be formidable.
Well, yeah, because they know the area very well, and they're not.
Oh, he's the handsome one of the bunch.
Yeah.
Except for the gaping vagina in his forehead. Not good. Not a good look.
Was this the same family of mutants from the first movie, or is it a different area?
They're part of like the same clan, I guess. Like,
is it supposed to be loosely based from the first one?
It is.
I have to ask these questions because I have no idea.
Yeah, because they're part of the people that stayed. It was like a whole community stayed there instead of leaving, and when the government asked them to.
That is some thrown together bullshit. Wow.
Yeah, this would be great for a retrospective watch from some actual military guys to laugh at. I know, Roman.
Actually, there's 3 of us here.
Yeah, it's just.
Hey, Blair, if a guy came into your clinic looking like that.
Yeah, that would be he'd get a note, not have to go back. Maybe a sick call.
Clearly after
yeah.
clearly after a Thailand visit.
Yeah.
Come on, that was funny. No one else got that. Ew.
Dead baby
I'm
insect.
trying to think. Were we still
Is that-
using this gear in 2007?
Oh
Or
yeah,
we moved on?
totally.
Were we
If
still-
you were in the
okay.
Garda Reserve, you were lucky to have that. You were lucky you wasn't
Okay,
wearing a
okay.
World War II steel pot.
Nice. So true too. Good grief.
He's got the glasses. He's the smart one.
Yep, exactly. That's how you could tell.
Oh my Lord, that is hilarious and weird.
All right. Who's next? Am I next?
I think you are.
Yes.
All right. The movie I'm about to mention, I've mentioned it before. Worst sci-fi movies ever.
Daniel's
I will
gotta
now
take
bring
off.
it up. I'm sorry?
Daniel's got to take off.
I got to head out. I didn't want to interrupt.
I'm sorry. Okay.
That's okay. I'm
Well,
just going
thank
to run.
you, Daniel, for
Thanks,
being
guys.
here. And thank you for sharing your thoughts on all these terrible, terrible movies.
This was fun.
Got anything going on, Daniel, before you split?
No, but I did. I just recently watched the original Nightmare on Elm Street and The Shining, and I really want to do a discussion on Nightmare on Elm Street because there were just interesting things on watching it now after so much time that just comparing it to present day that just had me thinking. So if I had the time, I'd love to put something together about a deep dive on it. So
Right on.
Sure, sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds like a kind of a rabbit hole I've gone down recently is watching reaction videos of young people watching
Exactly.
those movies and seeing how they reacted and if they reacted the same way that I
Yes.
did when I saw it the first time.
I have a few people I like that do exactly that are young and in their 20s and they're watching this stuff for the first time, and I enjoy that. And I was kind of like with that in mind. I want to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street. So because it's been forever since I've seen it. So
Yeah, same. I actually haven't watched that movie in probably 30 years.
And that's the thing is I think we're all pretty old.
Hey!
Yeah, but is that so it doesn't really sink in that a lot of the younger people haven't even heard of these movies.
Right.
And you're like, how the hell have you not heard of that? But if it's not trending on Twitter, they don't know.
Yeah. So anyways, so that's it. I'll head out, but this was a blast, and thank you guys.
Bye, Daniel.
Bye.
Night, Daniel.
Thank you for being here, buddy. Man, Daniel, always great to have him on. Like I said, he's just so good with his thoughts on all of these topics, and especially when they're terrible topics, that makes them even better. I love Daniel talking about The Happening is just gold. So, all right, so
Steven.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay.
I was getting ready to type.
So saving the worst for last, because that's the theme of the show. And I actually rewatched as much of the movie as I could stand today, just to make sure that I wasn't misjudging this film. But the movie Event Horizon is
I knew you were
not
going to say
only
it.
not
What?
only the worst science
You
fiction movie,
motherfucker!
it's the worst horror movie I think
Oh my God.
that I've ever seen.
Wow.
Hold on. I disagree with you so much on this.
I'm sorry. There's something about the production values. I can see how it could be an entertaining horror movie for a lot of people,
I love
but
this movie so much.
there are so many emotional elements floating around. These people are supposed to be the best rescue team available. Going
Yeah, but
to
that
a
really
ship.
limits your. Remember what you just said. Available.
Wow.
That means that teams 1 through 9 could be out, and this is team 10 of the best teams available. Who do you want? Team 1 or these guys? All right, come on, work
Plus,
over here.
It's
I'm
in
sorry.
space. Whenever these things happen in space, they should rename the movie Dumbasses in Space. Because people make the stupidest decisions in space. You know.
From Blair to Blair, director of Blair to Blair. It's Dumbasses in Space.
Totally. It's like
in the process of the medical guy is suddenly on the bridge doing communications work when he should be in the medical bay, but instead there's the woman in the medical bay, but the doctor's not there. And everybody is showing symptoms, but nobody's talking about their symptoms. The ship is doing things without any sort of tension or viable excuse. One thing after another happens where people are literally calling out, and yet nobody's hearing them call out. Are they supposed to be in a dreamscape at that point? We don't know. The camera doesn't change. The image doesn't change. Are they getting into their heads? Is this guy, is Sam Neill's character, does he have a secret plot? It's not really revealed. We don't know. He may have a secret plot. He seems to have a secret plot going on throughout the movie, but who knows? It's really hard to tell. I've rewatched it just today, and I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know what's going on in this thing.
I love this movie. I thought there were so many weird elements in this that all worked for me, which is I don't even like a lot of things. You'll find that surprising. Yes, Roman doesn't like a lot of things, but I really enjoyed this movie. Funny thing though, my brother-in-law, who does not sound like Marge Simpson, said this was the scariest movie he'd ever seen. And so I watched it under that premise. And the first time I watched it, I actually hated this movie.
Zach.
No. And that's how we got canceled. Oh my God. Damn it, Zach. But I watched it and I was like, it's actually not really a scary movie. I thought it was a good sci-fi movie that had horror elements, but not particularly scary. So anyway, go about defacing the movie, Stephen.
It's okay. What a prime example of how bad this movie is that Sam Neill explains to a navigator and a bunch of scientific rescue team members what gravity is. He starts explaining to them some of the most mundane, regular ground level things. And then he does the classic wormhole trope using a centerfold. Okay, I'm sorry, but really, seriously, can we please have a better wormhole and description? Can we get on this as soon as possible? That can't the folded piece of paper has been the thing for so damn long. I am so annoyed at it. And the navigator lights up a cigarette on the bridge. I'm sorry.
Maybe they had a better air filtration system.
They literally have an air filtration system as a plot point. That's the ticking time bomb in the movie.
Yes. So let's help it along by smoking them up,
I mean, come on. There are so many elements in this that are just like, really? Seriously, guys?
Look,
there it is. There's the scrubber. That's the CO2 scrubber filter right there. And they literally, she's installing them so that we know they exist, right? They take them out of their old ship, put them into the event horizon, which somehow is compatible, and they use them all up and then put them back on board the other ship to escape. Meanwhile, they're almost dead. So what was it? Because it was in a large, there's just so many elements in this that and the spacesuits, it's quite literally, we're going to walk slow in these spacesuits because they're supposed to be clunky. So everybody is walking really, really slow, like slower than Twinkle Batman, okay, in the Batman movie. This movie just annoys me on hundreds of levels.
Man, I love this movie. I can't believe you hate this movie so much. Maybe this is the way other people feel about Dracula that I don't feel.
Every single one of these people come on board this ship with psychological problems. That's another gigantic problem. Nobody would be allowed on a rescue mission with this much psychological
the best
dilemma.
Scream ever. This is the Sam Neill. He's like, oh.
Yep, one of Drinker's favorite clips.
Yes, it's so good. How can you hate that? I don't understand. Oh.
Well, this movie could never be made these days because you can't have a man mansplaining gravity to somebody.
No.
Why is he touching him like that? That seems very peculiar. Why is no one wearing clothes? That's the other thing.
Well, they just came out of these
No, I understand that. Why can't they wear clothes in those things though? I don't understand that either.
Yeah, you would think that there'd be a full body wetsuit so that everybody
There's
looks
like
sexy
no
coming
reason
out,
for them
so.
not to do that because there's nothing like attached to them. They're just floating around in the things.
I know, Dempsey. I know that Drinker loves this movie. I apologize to Drinker. I'm sorry. This is dumb science fiction at its very best. And since we're talking about stupidity in science fiction horror, in any horror movie, this is my go-to for how dumb can these people possibly be?
This guy looks really fucking familiar too.
He was in Alien 3 as
he's
the doctor.
You're right. That's who that is. He's been
he's Harry Potter. He's a fucking
oh my god, that's
he's
Lucius.
Malfoy's father.
Yeah, Lucius
Malfoy.
Yes,
yeah.
Jason Isaacs.
Oh,
yeah.
It's funny because apparently he's like a really nice guy.
Yeah,
because the kid was describing him. That's who you are. All right, you motherfucking Malfoy.
Yep.
Got it.
But you get a couple of shots of what this guy's wearing. He's wearing almost the entire medical base supply cabinet on his body during the whole movie.
That's a lot. So when you on the ship, Blair to Blair, this is the kind of thing you would wear around every day, right? You would just a vest with all the parts. No,
it's like he's planning on going into triage in a MASH unit like all the time. The whole time he's in the movie, he's fully costumed up. Everybody's tinkering with a prop. It's like bad acting across the board.
Except for this guy, he looks like he's a donkey.
And he's the first one to get sucked into the damn gravity drive, which is just like, wait a second, it's not a gravity drive if it's got magnetic. I'm sorry, guys. It's like, can we stop using gravity and magnetism in the same sentence? Because physics sure as hell doesn't. Okay, so the whole movie drives me freaking nuts.
And the medic guy is so intense and so.
Everybody is so intense.
And they warn him, okay, the doctor goes crazy. He says, I'm on it. He turns around, he gets fucking stabbed right out, but he's dead. It's like, Jesus Christ. They just wasted that whole character.
That happens. That used to happen all the time in the 80s.
The navigator jumps on Sam Neill's character because he's explaining something and everybody's getting frustrated, but nobody's moving like they're frustrated. And he tries to jump on Sam Neill, and the doctor character grabs him and puts a knife to his throat to calm him down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
that's seriously? How we do it in the military, Stephen, in case you didn't know.
And they're all wearing fatigues.
Grab a knife and put it to someone else's throat to calm them down.
But I don't see any military discipline. Nobody stays at their duty stations. Nobody talks. There's no chain of authority. It's totally bizarre.
Supposed to be some kind of cobbled together
elite rescue
unit,
team.
Obviously. But you're right. I don't see a lot of military in their military unit.
And the doctor is constantly trumping the scientists. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway. Go ahead, Shieldwall. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying that you never see that in like Star Trek, the new Star Trek. There's no chain of command. Nobody's in charge. No. People back talking.
Oh fuck no.
Yeah,
One of my guys did that shit. It would not fucking end well.
Well, the problem is that that's all good and well until you're in an emergency and trying to get stuff done. They'd be flying their ships into the sun and blowing them up.
Yes.
Now there's a reason why the chain of command works the way it does, because you have to have people who will respond in a way that you need them to in events that happen off the cuff. You never expect the emergency or the attack or the whatever. You go through your day-to-day bullshit stuff, which is very mundane. Now, I think you guys can agree with me. Like 98% of the time is like, But then there's that 2% of the time, which is the oh fuck phase. And that's when you need everybody to just be able to, hey, do this, do this, do this, and they do it. Right. And this crew doesn't seem capable of that at all, though. You're right. I will give you that. I will give you that.
I never get the sense that the captain could shout out at the whole crew, freeze, and they would all stop in their tracks. I never get that sense from this show. Not that that's really important, but yeah, he's constantly, and this guy, I don't know why everybody's got these bear names. Hey, kitty bear. Hey, mama bear. What is this mama bear, kitty bear thing? I don't know what's going on with all of that. It's just a very strange script. And I'm going to disagree with you, Matt. I get it that perhaps at certain temperatures, gravity and electromagnetism become the same thing, but you'll have to talk to a physicist because he will totally disagree with you. Electromagnetism is a phenomenon and gravity is the reality of physics. Period. End of sentence, full stop. I don't know. It's strange.
What actress is that? Who is that?
The blonde lady?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I know 3 actors in this, but I don't know the kind of the
Sean Pertwee's in it, the Doctor Who third Doctor's son. He plays the pilot.
Oh, really?
He's in Gotham. He plays Alfred.
Oh, okay. I actually had no idea that's who that was. Oh,
the Navigator plays Alfred in the Gotham series.
He's a good actor. He's in.
That's interesting. Okay, I recognize him. He's the guy with the shaved head and the tattoo. Yeah.
Jacob Ironside said, "Yeah, he's in Dog Soldiers." That's a good werewolf movie.
Jolie Richardson.
Oh, Jolie Richardson. I remember her.
Yeah, it's just familiar. Although I'm getting Admiral Hodo vibes off of her.
Yeah,
cool.
it's not her.
Cool.
Yeah, regardless
this
of
is
Sam
a great
Neill
shot.
being in
Look
the
at
picture.
This shot. This shot is so cool.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Set design is awesome, right? Mm-hmm. Production values are all on point. Everything looks great. The set looks great.
Why is she sitting like Galadriel from Rings of Power?
Without the little armor patch covering the bits. Not cool.
They all have rolling chairs on a bridge on a spaceship. But the captain's chair is locked
ship
down
too, Stephen. No, we don't. There were literally no wheels on our chairs on boats at sea.
You had a periscope like that in your office, right?
Well, duh. On the aircraft carrier. What the fuck?
I do like the premise. Right? It goes into the other dimension or whatever, and comes back, and the whole ship is now kind of like alive.
Yeah. It's absorbed that energy, whatever that energy was. The malevolence. There are a lot of scenes they lost from this. They got the deleted scenes that were destroyed. And when I say destroyed, I mean literally destroyed.
Right.
Was that for contractual reasons or something, or legal reasons?
No, I think they were they used
accidentally just got rid of it.
Oh, so like incompetence then.
Yeah. No, I don't even think that. It's that bridge scene when they're looking at the other side, and it's all the people kind of. It's an obscene scene, is the best way I can actually say it. They hired a bunch of actors to do that scene, and it was actually obscene. The way the little bits that you actually got to see were that's all they could show you without changing the rating of the film. So.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean now.
I think that's why it got destroyed. I think. I don't know. It's speculation.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised. I'm surprised this is on your list. I actually, like I said, I like this movie.
Yeah.
I know. I don't like Dracula, so we all have our thing.
What always amazes me about movies in general is the just sheer volume of crap movies that are made, and there's so many other, well, in the old days, good franchises out there that could have been made instead, good stories, you know, everything, but now it's to the point where I just rather Hollywood doesn't touch it.
Right.
And
well, they don't anymore, because if you'll notice, almost every movie that's being made right now is a sequel or a rehash of
Prequel,
an older film.
rebooting.
Yeah, which I hate. I literally hate. Sequels you can get away with to a degree, depending. Like with the Marvel films up till Endgame. Those all work, but I wouldn't qualify that as a sequel either. That was just a large story arc.
True.
But rebooting a movie like I heard they're going to do Labyrinth again, which hurts my
I've
heart.
heard that. Yeah.
There are a lot of things that they want to redo because they're fresh out of ideas.
So
that's why
they're going to redo
redo
Labyrinth, but without puppets. That's
and David Bowie.
Yeah, well,
it'll be CGI with
yeah.
Metro.
The chances of that being
gender
trash is
singer.
super high. I mean, it could work. You never know. House of Dragons, it's not flawless, but it's good enough that it proves that they can do good stuff modern day if they want.
I'm actually really liking House of Dragons. I love Matt Smith in that so much, and I know he's not a good guy, and I understand that in the show, but he's still my favorite character because he's the most interesting character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is also an example of some early CGI when they first entered the
what
ship.
What a cast, though!
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
It's a very heavy, good cast, but that doesn't always work. There are films that clearly doesn't work in. Dracula, I'm talking to you once again.
Yep. Frankenstein again. Robert De Niro, Kenneth Branagh. I mean, God, full cast all across the board,
and didn't work at all. This thing scared the shit out of me. This actually did scare me.
Yeah.
This great spinning thing.
Yeah. This is what I mean, that there's so many set pieces in this film that are supposed to be horrifying, right?
Especially the engine
on
room
purpose.
Too, that spinning metal.
Yeah, that was fucking creepy.
Yeah.
All right.
Zax. No, Zax. No.
Oh no! You shut your mouth, Zax. That is not cool.
Zax is.
I can't accept that. I can't accept that.
You know, for like probably a week after this film came out, all I could think about was they made this movie. I guess it was okay, but I was like, man, if they can do this, imagine what they could do a 40K movie with like Space Marines, Terminator armor, and demons, and Geller fields, and the whole thing.
Because you want to see that.
Well, yeah. Because this is what it would look like. This right here.
I like
the
this
skulls.
I do. I think this
all
is
that.
fucking creepy and cool.
Yep. This is what your ship would look like on the inside if your Geller field failed while you were going through the Immaterium. This guy would be there. Yeah, the whole thing. Except you'd be shooting with a bolt gun and blowing them apart.
This thing, the gravity drive, though, I love this thing. It was just so bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And the physical motion of it, I found that interesting. And I know we're talking about movies we hate. Steven hates this.
I
don't hate this. Computer, no.
So many of the set pieces were well assumed. They were all very well executed, all of them, including the crazy hyper gothic over aesthetic bridge on the Event Horizon. It's like, really, guys, did you have to make the walls actually look like castle blocks? Or I mean, like, seriously? It's crazy. Like, every single hallway has got a gothic design to it. Like, how many crew members were on board this ship? 5,000? This thing is gigantic. Why is this ship so
it's enormous.
big?
Well, because it's like bigger than Discovery in 2001.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost
ship.
as big as the original Star Trek Enterprise. It's gigantic. Yeah, so it's a strange movie with all kinds of unusual, over the top aesthetics.
Now, I know they never said anything, but something just occurred to me. Maybe when it went through the little wormhole and came back, it like changed into that gothic style on the inside.
But they don't mention anything like that in this film. Everybody knows where everything is. Nothing is transformed or altered. I mean, they literally get a message with everybody screaming, and one of the people actually, they isolate a voice, and it basically says something in Latin that should basically turn the entire rescue operation into, Earth, we need direction. What should we do with this stupid thing? This is even before they enter the ship. Yeah, and they go to get the logs from the computer.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that was-
there's a stack of CD-ROM drives. And I'm sorry, that
1990s.
just blows my mind on that. It was like they didn't assume that there would be higher levels of technology. Anyway, but it's bizarre. The whole thing is just so strange that it turned out the way it did.
It's kind of funny how we pick these movies that, you know, certain things just like destroy the whole suspense of reality, or, you know, suspension of disbelief, so you can get into a movie where, you know, this particular movie for you obviously isn't going to cut it, you know, or some of the others, you know, people just like look at these like, no, I'm not buying this. No.
Yeah, and I would have liked it if once again, this is all about the camera. If the camera was doing a very specific thing all the time, but it wasn't. It was just a standard movie camera filming standard shots like, ooh, look at this beautiful set we built. Ooh, look at this beautiful set we built. Ooh, look at this technologically advanced screen where they're touching the screen and pushing buttons. And it's like, really, guys? Seriously, man? This is supposed to be a horror movie, not an EA convention, you know? It's there's that one airlock scene, a classic space movie horror scene where somebody gets locked in an airlock. He regains his consciousness, right? And he has access to all of the controls around him. There's nothing stopping him from touching any of the controls. He can't deactivate.
Scared. Yeah, I think he panics. That's what happens.
He panics? He's a rescue operator on board one of their elite rescue vessels. Like, he panics?
Yeah, he's like the weak
Seriously?
link of the whole group. He's like the mama bear, and that's her baby bear, and he shouldn't be there. You know, like you said, this is not a competent crew.
Yeah, I agree. That, you know, every time they said that, I'm like, really? How are they scanning for life? And she's getting signals all over the whole ship. You know, it's. And then when Baby Bear goes scanning inside of the gravity room, which I don't know why anybody entered the gravity room in the first place. Like, unless they checked the whole ship first, why would they go to the engine room? Right? Unless they knew for a fact that it needed to be explored. I mean, it's a dangerous place. The gravity drive made this thing vanish from space for seven years, I think. You're going to enter there first without the full crew? I mean,
yeah.
Where are the video cameras?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where's the surveillance? Where's, you know, you think that'd be like the last place they'd want to go? Just because.
How about the surveillance on their suits? Right? In Aliens, every one of the Marines had a video camera on their suit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is a rescue team collecting data for possibly more rescue intervention. Nobody's filming anything. Nobody's photographing anything.
Plus, they've been gone for 7 years. Like you said, this is like, you know, an investigation and a rescue. You think
it's an investigation of a multi-trillion-dollar engine project.
Yeah, you think they'd be, you know, documenting every square inch of it, but no, they just kind of like clumber around. Well, let's look in the closet.
You would think there would be one or two shots in the beginning of the film where we see the doctor talking to the United Nations like, well, you better get your ass out there and find out what the hell happened to our $5 trillion spacecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like his reputation is on the line in this thing, right? But no. Every single traumatized rescue operator, including the doctor himself, all recently traumatized by loss in their life, we're going to send them.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're exhausted. We're taking them off vacation duty, and we're going to send them to the most unusual space operation that has occurred allegedly in spacefaring history on Earth in this universe's timeline. We're going to send a weak, traumatized, unrested rescue team to the far reaches of the solar system to find out what happened on this mystery ship. I mean, come on, guys. It's like, if this happened on an island, it would be one thing. But in space, for real?
Yeah.
Like I said, I was going to drag this one through the coals. I think I'm doing a sufficient job.
I was going to say was.
Come, Steven, tell us how you really feel. Come on, don't hold back.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me if I was angry.
It had a great soundtrack, though.
Ooh,
Remember
you're
Prodigy?
quoting She-Hulk again.
Well, she's angry all the time, apparently.
That she actually used that quote in the show from the Bill Bixby 70s show. Yeah, it was very cringe.
Yeah, I get you, Matt. I hear what you're saying, but is this really the crew you want to send? Because they did the same thing in the Alien sequels, the contemporary remakes, where they send a bunch of knuckleheads because it's actually part of the plan. They want to capture the alien. So we never get a sense of that, though. They never mention anything like that, at least in that dumbass movie. They mention it openly that they sent a bunch of dumbasses because they wanted them to get contaminated. That was a plot point in the movie. But in this movie, there's no plot point like that. Nobody says anything along those lines.
Okay, sorry, everyone.
It's quite all right. We've been covering things quite well.
No, I've been listening. I can listen. I just couldn't be on camera though. I had to take care of some things in the House of the Empire. I apologize.
Yep, that is correct, MC. Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
And actually, he mentions that the captain of the rescue ships says we're gonna all go back to the ship. We're gonna pull away, and I'm gonna blast it from orbit. Okay, because I'm just not feeling comfortable about that. And then, I mean, God, they dock onto the ship because there's nowhere else to dock. They dock onto a place that the doctor literally says that's not a load-bearing member, which means they can't even fly the ship back if they wanted to because it would break in half because this guy just crushed a major I-beam. It's like, you got to be friggin' kidding.
Blah, 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 blah. Physics.
Oh, man.
Rescue team, though, highly trained.
They're the best of the best.
Let's just slam the side of the fucking ship and
literally,
I saved the best for last, Invader Zim. I saved the best for last.
Yep. It's another famous Steven Event Horizon rant.
Yes, I got it twice. I got it twice in one season.
Oh my God.
I hate this. I do not walk out of the cinema, right? I paid good money. It would be like literally walking away from a fully cooked meal. You just don't do that, okay? It's rude. But this movie was ruder than my rudeness. I walked out of this movie in the cinema.
It sounds like you wouldn't walk away from the meal, you'd flip the table.
Oh, if this was served to me as a meal, I would flip the table and punch the waitress.
My God.
Horrible.
So it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so it's fine. It's totally cool. I'm cool with it, man. I'm chill. I'm totally chill.
Oh my God. All right, where are we? Got about 20 minutes left before we really got to kill this because we're going pretty long, but that's okay.
We got your third take, Roman. Go for it.
Okay, that was my third take. Oh Jesus, yeah, this one's terrible, and it's terrible for a lot of the reasons we've been talking about. Though we may not even need to spend a lot of time on this.
Please tell me it's not another Blair Witch movie.
No, it's not another Blair Witch movie. Although it's actually not as far from the theme as you would think.
Well, Blair, we know that you're a wizard, okay? You must understand that there are problems with the Wiccan community. As a wizard, you must understand that there are witch problems.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, this was shit.
Fuck.
CGI was fucking
oh, my
shit.
God. So... You've all seen, I mean, everybody in this community has seen an American Werewolf in London. If you haven't, then you probably shouldn't be in this community. This one, even the premise sounds fucking stupid when I read it out loud. The daughter of the werewolf in Of America, Werewolf in London is alive and living in Paris, where her mother, from the first film, and I have no idea who the fuck they're talking about, and stepfather are trying to overcome her lycanthrope disease. A trio of American tourists on a thrill-seeking trip around Europe managed to stop her from plunging to her death from the top of the Eiffel Tower, and are embroiled in a horrific and often hilarious plot involving a secret society of werewolves based in Paris.
Huh. Is that Ramsey
off.
Bolton?
Oh my God, it's just so shitty. It might be. So this movie, it does look like Ramsey Bolton. You're not wrong. This movie is terrible.
No.
He's too young, I think.
This is old. This is 97. I almost picked this movie, but then I'm like, nah, but the CGI.
It's not just the CGI though; it's the story. Because
look at that shit.
American Werewolf in London had a lot of good kind of parody / comedic elements to it.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's funny.
This one really didn't. I mean, it tried to, but it failed on just about every level that it could have. For both effects, scary stuff, and comedy. It hit everything it was trying to do. It did badly.
It missed.
I'm trying to find some interesting picks to pull up from this.
I'm looking at the cast too.
I don't know if there was anybody in this that was worth a shit, or if this was just kind of all.
Well, Julie Delpy. She's
I'm on page 4 now.
There's a movie that she did with hold on, let me try and find it. Yeah, the Before Sunrise series.
Oh, page 5.
That she did with Ethan Hawke was a prime example of her acting talent. She is a very talented young lady. Why she did this film, I don't know.
Contract stuff, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, there is a such thing as keeping your equity, your acting equity card live by doing a film every certain amount of years. Otherwise, you lose your status. So there is that as a part of the reality.
Yeah, Dempsey is right. The effects, the Blade effects have not aged well.
No,
Blade is such a better movie that
Well, American Werewolf in London has moments where there are things that don't age well, and you can talk about it that way, and that's fine. But people still watch that movie because there are a lot of really good elements about it. This, as a sequel, which should have never been made, has none of these things. Just nothing. It offers nothing. And I can't remember if I saw this in the theater or I think, wasn't it Bush did the theme music for this?
Yeah, I think Matt said that.
Am I wrong? Or at least they did the theme song for it.
Yeah, Matt said that that's the only good thing about this movie is it gave the Bush song.
Okay. Oh, just such fucking bad. Fuck off, you dork-looking motherfucker.
And the Howling is way better than this.
Oh yeah, God yes. The Howling's a good movie. However,
I didn't pick them, but literally all of the Howling sequels are terrible movies.
Oh, they are. I'm just saying the very first
every fucking one of them.
I love the second one where what's her name?
Sybil Danning.
Yeah. They do a thing where they show the same scene 16 times at the very end for the credits. She rips off her thing and it's like every 5 seconds, it's the highlight of the movie. Apparently she was not happy that they did that.
Who was that actress again?
Sybil Danning. She was
I know who that is. Yeah.
A hot chick in the 80s.
Late night Cinemax actress who was in a lot of certain types of films. not like hardcore, but the softcore variety.
Didn't she do a TV show with Bruce Willis? It was like,
No, that's not moonlighting. That's a different actress.
Different actor.
Different set of skills, let's say.
Was that
Who was the
Sybil
actress
Shepherd?
in,
oh, okay.
Shepherd,
That's I'm getting confused. All right.
It was Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. Sybil
Yeah.
Shepherd. Or as Mrs. Taryn, Mrs. of the Empire just said, Sybil Shepherd. Now she's looking at me again. She's out here in the studio. She keeps coming out.
Yes, I agree. Queen of the Damned is a terrible movie.
It was supposed to be a direct to video. And it was another one of those, they need to make it or else they're going to lose the rights.
Yeah, but the woman who played Queen of the Damned actually died going to one of these locations to film.
She was a singer. It was the girl singer.
Wasn't she from
Really? Howling 4. Oh Lord.
Yeah, and then they decided to put it in theaters, and we got what we got.
Oh, because she died. Yeah.
They took Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned and shoved them together. That's always a bad idea.
No, which was the Vampire Lestat was actually my favorite of the Anne Rice novels. And to lump it in with Queen of the Damned like that was just terrible.
Yeah. Tom Cruise could have came back. He would have been great in the Vampire Lestat. I think that would have been one of his best movies, but for whatever reason he didn't want to. Or
I liked Interview with a Vampire. I know there were a lot of kind of hokey things in that, but I thought the look of it was good. I liked Tom Cruise in it. I liked Brad Pitt in it, even though he played kind of a poof. I still like Brad Pitt in that, and that was before I liked Brad Pitt. There was a line I had to cross to like Brad Pitt. I think that line was Fight Club, because there was a lot of Brad Pitt just did a lot of softer roles, and I just didn't give a fuck about him. I thought
Interview with a Vampire was right on the heels of his introduction in A River Runs Through It.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A River Runs Through It. Mrs. of the
new hot
Empire
item.
loves that movie. I hate that movie so much.
The only thing I like about that one
is Anthony Hopkins with the chalkboard. Go fuck yourself. I thought that was funny, but not in the way that it was probably supposed to be funny. So, whatever.
I'm not watching that TV show. Just no.
Yeah, the TV show is taking a lot of liberties.
Or the Interview with a Vampire. Oh,
yeah.
I forgot. Yes, until you mentioned that, I forgot it was actually a fucking TV show.
I thought you were talking about A River Runs Through It TV show.
But what startled me about A River Runs Through It was the opening shots of Brad Pitt fishing. I was like, oh my God, this guy looks like a 21-year-old Robert Redford. Like, it was astonishing to see on screen. He looked like Robert Redford when he was 21. It blew my mind. It
gave off that vibe. Yeah.
And he's kept it up, man. He's still going.
I loved Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood so much. That's
a good movie.
That movie was just so much fun.
I saw Bullet Train.
That hippie, like fucking 3 foot back. I haven't seen Bullet Train yet. I've heard it's very good.
Yeah, I've heard too. I've heard that it's a very good representation as well.
I liked him in the Oceans movies too.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's chill. He's actually kind of laying back. He's letting George Clooney do all the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's after the crossover phase though for him.
Yeah,
right.
From the Fight Club phase.
The first thing I saw him in was Thelma and Louise or whatever. Yeah.
Baby boy. Good grief. I think the ladies all just sigh when they see him just in his cowboy hat, like he was a friggin' Marlboro man.
Mm-hmm.
But Inglourious Bastards,
mm-hmm.
Fury, he pulls out all the stops, man, and he's still working. Bless his merry little soul.
Sorry, so Max MVP and I are texting right now. He's talking about he's not going to make the Orlando thing, and both of us thought the Sergeant Rock comic was meh, which was too bad. I don't know if any of you guys saw that.
Yeah, I heard it's written by
written by Bruce Campbell, and produced by the DC Horror Division. And I was like, oh my God, I have like, a nerdgasm. And then I get the book. And the cover was all right. The cover actually looked good. And as soon as I opened up, I was like, oh. And then the story was like, oh. And it was just, it's like one of the movies we're talking about. It was just such a big disappointment. And it's kind of lost opportunity because it wasn't the Evil of the Dead that I thought it was going to be, like Necronomicon, Army of the Dead. It was just like Hitler, and I'm saying that in negative context, YouTube, so don't get that wrong, is reanimating his soldiers, but not in the way that I was hoping he would. They're like using just kind of weird science to do it, and it's just a real drag in the actual animation of the comic, the artwork of the comic animation. The artwork in the comic is terrible. The color palette is dreadful, and the actual drawings are not great.
So you didn't like the animation or the reanimation?
Or the reanimation. That is correct. It was just a downer, man, because I was really looking forward to it. Because I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so good. And it wasn't so good. It was just like, meh. It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever read, but it wasn't good. And I'm not going to
I hope you got a good paycheck, Bruce. I hope you got paid well.
Yeah. So like I said, it's going to be, I think, a 6-issue thing, but I'm not buying issue 2. I'm sorry, Bruce Campbell. I love you, but I hate this book.
Do you remember Kolchak?
The Night Stalker. Fuck yeah, I do.
They just released it's like a Indiegogo comic with Kolchak, and each chapter is a certain part of his life and a different supernatural adventure. Stephen Niles writes one of them, or a couple of them. I just got the digital copies the other day. They're being printed, and the real ones are going to be coming out later. But I really like the Kolchak stuff.
Did you see the episode of X-Files in season 10 where they did the Kolchak kind of homage with the Lizard Man?
I don't remember. I remember Devin, the actor came. The X-Files was really inspired by Kolchak. Mark Post really liked, and he wanted to bring Kolchak on the show, but Darren McGavin didn't want to reprise the character. But he came on as a character on a few seasons as a deep throat type informant. But yeah, that whole Kolchak thing the series wasn't the best, but I really liked it. No,
it had its kind of weird moments. It was flaky as fuck, but it was still very enjoyable, and you like the stories that they were telling.
Yeah,
like the whole underground city stuff was I thought was amazing. But we're talking about things we love now, so things we don't love, which would be these movies. So
well, we got to bring it down, because we're coming to the end of the show. We need to start talking about some joyous things. We've been on the harp train for long enough, I think.
I don't. This is just terrible.
I keep seeing that Groot commercial, and I just keep thinking he would make all of these movies better.
Literally every one of them. I know. It's like, I am Groot. Hey, it's Groot, everybody. These guys.
We all know what would make all of these movies better, don't we, Roman?
Baby Yoda?
That would be Predator, in case you're curious. The correct answer is always Predator when you're asked that question.
Predator and Cowbell. Same thing.
But it's hard. It's actually even hard to find good picks in this thing because they're all just kind of, there you go. That's great. God. It's a blurry wolf.
Shit.
It's just a shit movie. It's a shit follow-up. It's a bad sequel trying to capitalize way too late on its predecessor and doing a really bad job of it. So that fuck off, American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, Paris.
Oh, in Paris. Not the other one. I apologize, American Werewolf in London. God damn it. I'm old. It's late. I'm eating tacos.
It's late. It's 8 o'clock. Kids, it's so late for Roman. It's 8 p.m. on the West Coast.
Time for a nap.
I'm ancient and my day is full. I have a lot that goes on.
Yep. He's actually a whole year and a half, I think, older than me. So
I think I'm like a biscuit older than you. So yeah, tomorrow's like a weird day for the Empire series. I have a funeral in the morning, which is unfortunate. And And then in the afternoon, Matt, the drummer, and we bought a bunch of stuff so we can record the Let's Talk Geeky theme, or at least some of the major chunks of it tomorrow. So it's a very uneven day for me, but that's where they are around here.
Yes, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is classic bad, right up there with classic Toxic Avenger.
But good bad, like bad enough.
Good bad. Like supposed to just bad.
Bad.
Which is what American Werewolf in Paris was. That was just bad.
Bad with no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Like Primeval, or all the other crap movies.
And there are a lot. Oh, Invader Zim has got a couple last comments on here. Really? Oh, Castlevania. People like that. I have not seen any of those. People do enjoy that show.
It's pretty good.
The series. Where's my beard? God damn it.
Yeah, it looks good. All the production values are right on point. I don't know enough about the video game series to actually really get engrossed in it as a prequel or a sequel or an equal, or I don't know, whatever it's supposed to be incarnation of in the Castlevania universe.
Right.
Because the Castlevania universe in video games is gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a gamer.
Neither am I.
You'll find that surprising based on my advanced age.
I still play the original.
Bad at them. Do you really?
I play the original Castlevania. I have the ROM. I play it on an emulator, and then but you look at what they do with like a Super Nintendo and the new console games of Castlevania. It's just fucking insane what they're doing.
You're fucking kidding me, Thad. Put that back up again, Steve. What do you do?
Anything's possible when it comes to Dinklage.
Fuck off. Oh my God.
Yep. Surprise he's
my
work.
soul.
What?
Wow.
Wasn't he supposed to be in a Willow remake?
Dinklage?
Yeah, but he didn't want to be typecast for his height.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're even letting little people in that one. He threw such a bitch fit
it's
about
Willow. Who wouldn't want to be in the remake of that?
I know.
Well, other than it's probably going to suck, but because of bad writing.
What's his name? Who's the little fellow who was in that one?
Warwick Davis.
Warwick,
yeah.
Who was in so many things back in the day.
Well, if he's going to be in it, right, and they carry the story on from
I just hope they are not going to fucking... But the problem is, Val Kilmer obviously not going to be able to be in this. Everybody else is too old. Those little pixie things. Call me elf one more time. Yeah.
The brownies. Yeah.
I get more action in 1 week than you do in an entire year. Call me elf one more time. He's an angry elf. Hilarious movie. I enjoyed that movie. Not on this list. Not on the list. We can do our most horrible Christmas movies around Christmas time.
Oh, yeah.
See what that's going to look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll do our
That'll be a
favorites
little
the week
easier.
before, and then the following we'll do the most horrible Christmas movies ever. And I think we'll probably have some funny ones on that. And Santa hats are required for that broadcast in case anybody needs to pick one up. I have two if someone needs to borrow one.
I'll have to put one on my avatar.
So I think we've gone through the entire cycle. Yes, I'm not
we all actually all three of us got three. All five of us got three in.
Yeah,
that was a lot. Now, yes, it took us 3 hours to get there. Sorry about that, YouTube.
Hey,
audience.
five guys times three.
Sometimes these things take a little bit of time to get there, but this was a lot of fun. We talked about I didn't even get to like my really horrible picks. I'm gonna read them off just because. The Thing, 2011. The Giant Spider Invasion. I threw that in for my friend over in the UK, PJ Maybe. Zombievers, because I thought it should be important to talk about that. Frankenstein's Daughter and Trog. That was my
Trog.
You said Trog or Tron?
Trog with a G.
Oh, Trog, right. Short for troglodyte. Yeah.
Yes.
God.
The fact that you know that is disturbing on several levels. So let's go around the horn here before we wrap and talk about what else we got going on this week. Blair DeBlair, my favorite wizard. What do you have going on this week?
Not much. Trina, the Lasso of Truth, is going to be starting her channel up
Oh,
in the next
nice.
few weeks. I've been invited on that, so
Excellent.
that'll be good to talk about. She's a big horror buff too, so I think the premise of her show is going to be mostly horror related, horror movies and such. Of that, nothing else.
All right, Shieldwall. You got anything coming up, bud?
Well, I don't have a channel or anything, but I would like to go over some of my list here. Snakes
the
on a
others.
Plane, yeah. Flatliners, The Fog, the 2005 version, not the OG.
Fuck them for remaking that movie, by the way.
Candyman, that remake
The
was
remake?
horrible trash. Species 2.
Fucking remakes. Species 2. Oh my God. Species was such a cool, weird, interesting movie. Species 2 was everything that movie was. That was the American Werewolf in Paris of Species movies.
And lastly, Jason X.
Jason in Space.
Yeah, that was, oh God.
I like Jason in Space. I can't tell you why I like it, but I do, and I'm embarrassed. And there's a support group for that.
So yeah, that's my
Guilty
list.
pleasure.
And yeah, I don't have a channel or anything, but thanks for having me on. This is always fun.
No, it's
I like
always
being
wonderful
here.
to have you on.
Yep.
So
What a pleasure.
my partner in crime over here, Stephen Ransom. What
Yes.
9,000 things do you have going on this week?
Well, I've been kind of chilling out this last month, so I'm going to be on Potato Revan tomorrow. It'll be according to the clock, it's 4:15 p.m. on my area of the planet, and 3 hours plus for the East Coast, and whatever that translates for the UK. And that's going to be more horror discussions. Thank goodness it's the end of the month. This is the worst month for cinema, in my opinion. I'm sorry, guys.
This
I'm
has
not a horror
been
fan.
gold this month. This has been so much fun.
It
There's so
has.
many movie stuff to pick
We've had a
from.
bunch of fun with it. That's for
I got
sure.
nothing for November. What am I going to do? A whole month of trains, planes, and automobiles? I can't do a month on that.
We could.
We could.
And then after that, so that's we're going to talk horror movies, basically early evening, late evening, United States on Potato Revan. And then Saturday, I've got Let's Talk Geeky with PJ Maybe, but not too long after that, at roughly about 5 p.m., October 29th, I'm going to be on Jacob Ironside, on Jacob Ironside's channel, discussing the Twilight Zone series, the original Twilight Zone series.
Nice.
Well, I hope he doesn't get burned on that like he did with the Jaws.
Anything's possible.
No, I don't know if you saw his Jaws broadcast got because YouTube he got YouTubed on.
Well,
on the Jaws
we'll have to
broadcast.
be more careful. We'll have to be more careful.
It's just you got just the clips. You got to watch the clips because they will,
Use stills as much as you can, I guess.
Yep. All right, and so I will be on with PJ maybe on Saturday with you, Stephen, and then remember. So Monday, I'm gonna plug Salty Texas Sea is got a War of the Worlds broadcast that he's put together. It's basically the voice actor, it's the 1939 broadcast with YouTube
Orson
voice
Welles?
actors doing the parts. Yes, the Orson Welles
Okay.
play. The War of the
Cool.
Worlds. So that's going to be on Halloween. He's going to be doing the premiere of that, and that should be really good. I've heard little bits of it, and it just sounds awesome. It's going to be so much fun. So please check that out on Monday, Halloween. I don't suspect that we're going to have a broadcast on either John or I on Monday because we're going to be busy because I got to hand out candy so the kids do not toilet paper my house. So thank you guys for being on the show. This was a lot of fun talking about the movies that we don't like. As always, it's just a hoot, especially when we're talking about really, really terrible films. And thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. Appreciate you spending your time with us. And to you guys who are watching on the review, thank you too, because you're contributing to the greater good of the YouTube world by exploring these strange and fantastic topics that we love to talk about.
Yeah, this has been great.
Yes.
You go down the rabbit hole of bad stuff and you could just keep going. We could have done this for probably 2 more hours. So
Misery loves company and loves to share.
and here we are.
Yep.
All right, everyone. So for solving the world's problems tonight with myself, Stephen Ransom, Blair to Blair, Shieldwall of Dragons, and our good friend Daniel, thank you for being with us. And we will see you next time. Signing off, and be kind.
You